How about now? Do you have audio now, or? Yeah, I got a new driver and it disconnected somehow. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, so I got the latest driver from March for the mixer board that I've got. So there's a whole bunch of things that weren't really working, and then OBS Studio, it changed, so it didn't know what it was. But I already had it working, so I don't know why it didn't know what it was still. Pretty crazy, pretty crazy. Alright, so you know that survey that you guys were doing, you guys all filled out. I'm going to play every single answer in the two main columns that were like, what do you like about the show? What don't you like about the show? And you can see that some people are trolls, you know, not being just honest, especially when they say, I know that you're on the spectrum, you know. So if somebody says that, they're a troll, right? Don't you agree? But all the rest of them, you know, they just are what they are. You know, I might have my own explanation or belief of what I'm saying, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm going to play every single one of them in an audio. No, you're not going to have your name. I don't know. I don't even know what comment went to what name anyways. So I'm going to start the show off with that so you can just listen to it. Okay? How about that? And then we'll get to the rest of the stuff, because I want this to be the first thing that people hear. I don't know, I agree. I want you to talk about the cases. I came here for true crime. Well, hey, I'm gonna let you hear it anyways. All right? That's just what I feel like doing. So come back in 30 minutes if you don't want to hear what people said about the what their thoughts were on the channel. Let's see. So the first one, what do you not? Let's see, not that one. I'll do the first one. It says, what could make the show? There was nothing about what do you like about the show in the questions, but it says, what could make the show better and have you watch more? I guess it doesn't really matter what people like, right? It's like, what don't you like? Yeah. So, where is this? Yeah, that one right there. That's cool. So here we go, everybody. We're just going to play them from the beginning. These are everybody's thoughts. It's kind of long, and then we'll switch over to the other one. So it might take like a half hour or so. So here we go. All right. Maybe it'll even take longer. Who knows?
A better overall attitude and getting the show moving.
I'm not going to read them. You're going to listen to the, like a reader read them. I just want to listen to them. So here we go.
A better overall attitude and getting the show moving more. Current cases. Later evening shows are better for me. I love the show and already watch as much as possible. I love your interviews with special guests like Dr. Colleen and parents loved ones of the missing and murdered. I really enjoy the trials. All my answers above would make me watch more.
And by the way, I didn't remove, there's nothing removed from here, okay? This is exactly everything that was in there, all right?
Right now I only watch about once a week or every other week if you're covering a case I'm following. And I skip around trying to figure out where the show starts at since there's no time stamps of anything. Change elevator music. Cut it back to maybe 2 hours at most. I like the format the way it is. Thank you, Gray. I love the show, but I think there could be some add-ins, like the suggestions above. I watch every night. I like the show pretty much as is. Have more guests. You have a great show and your content is reliable. I would like to hear less criticism of other content creators. Some of us watch various creators in addition to you and we...
Thank you, Scout and Dude and Tosh. That's one of the complaints, too. The sounds that come in, you know, when you can't hear something.
Some of us watch various creators in addition to you and we don't want to have to feel like we are picking sides. You criticize the YouTube drama, but then you participate in it to some degree. Longer shows.
Little.
I frequently watch this channel already. I'm a bit quiet in the channel chat, but I rarely miss a show. Timestamps please, and thanks for what you do, Gray. Just have fun, Gray. If you're tired or need some time for yourself, the freaks will understand. Don't allow others to rob you of your joy. What attracted me to your channel were your animations. Love them. Always liked your debunk vids like Contanica SP Jenkins.
That's Kanika Jenkins. But yeah, those are good debunking videos.
Love them. Always liked your debunk vids like Contanica SP Jenkins. Potentially a more set time schedule if possible. I honestly think collabs could benefit your channel and algorithm. More animations. Love those. Nothing I don't always catch lives but watch later. Love it how it is. Nothing like it the way it is. It's always good. I just don't always have time. You should take time for yourself a little. Even if we miss you. Not much. For me it just really depends.
Alright, the avocado dancer. Thank you, Traveling Teresa, too. Posh. Now somebody say, I don't like all the audio except the avocado. Okay, here we go.
Not much. For me it just really depends on my schedule, and if I am interested in the cases being discussed. I can have a hard time staying interested in cold cases, but if it was maybe one cold case a month, and it was a deep dive into that cold case, almost like a podcast, I think I would be interested. Maybe even if the cold cases were from like 30 years at oldest, so we armchair detectives could think we have a chance at solving. Or the older mysteries, where the victim is still unidentified. I was obsessed with the Somerton Man. Overall, I think you do a great job. Well done. Bring back Serial Killer Sunday. I watch literally every day, so I'm not sure. Stay true as doing now. Nothing. Gray does a fantastic job. More involvement from professional investigators and police officers would be something that would appeal to me. I watch every night but don't always chat. Already watch every night. Just don't chat all the time. No random call-ins. But that's just me. Nothing. I watch every chance I get and tell others to also. I enjoy your YouTube channel as much as all the other YouTube channels I watch. I watch a lot but maybe a little more laid-back convos sometimes. Open panels I really enjoy. Nothing. I watch every show. I'm always here in silence. I watch the show whenever you are on. I like when you engage with chat and bounce ideas off of us or ask opinions. I like the late shows. If I retire, then I'd have more time to watch. It's just timing for being in another country. Nothing you can change really. Your show is unique and engaging as it is.
Yeah, so this is the, let's see. This is what could make the show better and have you watch more. Okay.
More recently you have been procuring donations in a less aggressive manner and balancing that with voicing your appreciation for those who can contribute. Time-wise it's hard to watch really long shows. Although when I did have more free time I enjoyed them. I got nothing. Sorry. Nothing. I love your channel just the way it is. More shocking cases and cold cases reviews.
That's a song, right?
Be nice. Not every day, some shorts on days you don't have a long show, liked the old sign-off of riding around the map to music. Miss that, bring it back, sometimes. I like Mary Lou too, just keep on keeping on doing what you're doing and adding anything you feel we would like. If we don't like it, we will tell you. You've made us all...
I doubt it, Scoutin' Dude, I think it would drop.
If we don't like it, we will tell you. You've made us all pretty capable of voicing our own honest opinions with showing us how strong, nice of a man you are and showing your fans love and complete honesty. I may be scared to sound stupid sometimes, but the only stupid question is a question not asked right. And we all love you, so honesty is what you will get from us. So cheering up and keeping on being great, Gray. That's what will make the show even better and make me continue watching. Less nights per week wouldn't keep the daytime trials.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the questions is, I ask stupid questions myself. I mean, people ask stupid questions. But it doesn't mean you can't ask the question, right? I guess what I could work on is not responding as if it's a stupid question. How about that? I could try to do that.
I try to listen every night. I watch replay when we are at a family event. Not as much money focus and presenter frustration. Maybe fund fewer and more impactful DNA cases. Too much emphasis on donating more and more. Some people just do not have the disposable income. More polls, interactive. My issue is time zone. I would watch more, but it is late for me. Nothing you can do. I enjoy your shows. Less rudeness. Stop doing that stuff from the previous question. My Temeslan is difficult, so I have to catch replays. I particularly love your humor and sound effects. It makes my day. I would love to see you do shorter videos like 30-40 minutes when there is a new case. Why, you ask? These unscrupulous IR tubers needed to go up against them, a voice of reason if you will. You are super duper talented. Less call-ins also enjoy you going over old cases that you think we find boring, but they aren't. Have a guest what is on you through Zoom or whatever, and as you go through the case they give their opinion. Zozo or Cindy J would be perfect. Have your wife tell how it is to be your one and only.
Two nemesis.
Not on camera, but maybe a part of your day of grey. I would love you to do that serial killer countdown. Guess.
That's pretty funny. Cindy, the one that makes me just frustrated as hell. But I guess that would be entertaining for you guys, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Guest speakers. Be kinder. More current cases. It's great as it is. Don't be so rude sometimes, Gray, because we all love you and what you're doing. Ty so much for all your service for the voiceless. It's truly passionate and beautiful. Really no idea, because I have a great time watching. I love your show and the mods. I'm just not in good health. I think if you section off time in the beginning of the show and even have a name for that part of the show to deal with trolls and bad YouTube channels would be great. Have a contest to name the segment. Being in the same Temeslan or sleeping less. Lol. I miss the notification a lot, just a YouTube thing I guess. More animations and maps. It would be good to have certain nights for certain things, that way when trials die down we could have a DNA night where you work on a model and talk about the case and give updates. Stuff like that. I really like when freaks suggest cases for deep dive. I watch a lot.
Yeah, you see, like, this is the thing right here is, I mean, I do so much work already, but somebody wants me to work on models and give case updates as I'm working on a model. Man, tell me how that would work. Yeah, let's see.
I watch a lot. Not really sure. I enjoy it the way it is. The show needs to pick up the pace. It is too long and too slow. It could be more structured. I watch every day. Shorter shows and more to the point. Trying to address so many watchers, though nice for them, really eats up time. If you could be a little more pleasant. Asterisk laying out how cases are possibly committed with visuals. Asterisk wise. Asterisk possible outcome of trials and why they question in certain ways. Asterisk suppose explaining. Sometimes can't stand the litigical or shallow vallow trials. I'd quiet. It drags on and they are such trashy sadistic people. Imho. Raises my blood pressure. LOL. Stop complaining and whining. Stop constantly talking about money. Times are tough for everyone. I used to watch every night until it started getting really bad about money, who, what, where you donate your money. But again, this is my opinion. And the reason why I don't watch anymore.
Yeah, well, keep not watching. So here's the thing is, when I've told you guys 1,000 times that I hate bringing up and asking for anything. Except you got to realize that, I mean, imagine you doing, let's say you're a comedian and you go to a facility who doesn't pay you anything to be there, and you spend 3 hours doing a comedy show, and there's these people sitting there, hundreds and hundreds of people sitting there, and not one of them, or maybe just a couple of people, throw some money into a tip jar on the way out the door. Wouldn't that just destroy your soul on a nightly basis? I mean, just think about it with your own mind right there. Pretend that you are somebody doing a performance at a facility who lets you stand in there, and you do a really good job. Everybody's like, entertained, and they're having a good time, and they all just walk out the door at the end. You don't think that's a little something to think about? Yeah, right. Yeah, well, this is a side thing. I'm just saying, what difference does it make if it's a side thing? It has nothing to do with anything. So that's why I don't like asking. That's the thing is, I hate asking, and I've told you guys that. But it seems like if I don't ask, some nights are just absolutely abysmal, and somehow they get sort of reasonable. And so I'm not sure how to work through that. Okay? So, think about it like that. If you went to watch somebody perform somewhere, would you just walk out the door even if you thought it was good? I mean, just ask yourself that question. All right. Let's see.
And the reason why I don't watch anymore. I think it's the best show on YouTube.
Wow.
Can't really think of much more.
That's why I don't watch anymore. And the next comment is, I think it's the best show on YouTube.
Can't really think of much more that you would be able to do. Less trolls. I don't have time to watch every night cause I have 3 young children, but I like the long shows. If you quit calling people names dumb, stupid, ignorant, etc.
Yeah.
Since I found this channel, I've watched almost every show. Some I have to watch at work in replay mode, but I try to always catch the live. These usually are just coming on when I'm ending my workday, so it makes for a great way to wind down for the night and think about whatever you have to share versus the reality of my days. Lol. I usually watch all the videos I'm interested in on replay.
Right, Lily, but you also don't know any other YouTubers that have donated $147,000 in 3 years, right? And you don't know what they make behind the scenes or on their ad revenue with sensationalistic videos. I don't make those.
I usually watch all the videos I'm interested in on replay, even older ones. Not sure I could watch more. Maybe continue to talk about the big cases going on and include that in the video title. Then break into the cases you want to cover. Going over the little things regarding the big cases and including in the title will attract more people to watch and introduce them to the other things you cover. It is kind of like clickbaiting. But more people will come and hopefully stay for all the other things you cover, and they'll get a feel for the flow of your show. Also, when you go for a bathroom break or to get a drink or have technical difficulties, have a segment pre-recorded that you can play that highlights how much you donate and all the things the channel does with those donations. Honestly, I watch whenever I can. I really wouldn't change a thing. If I could stay up later, I would chat more. Often I am there just listening from under the covers. Have people on panel that have expertise in cases, technology used, etc. Cheer up. I really can't think of anything I don't like. I wouldn't watch if I didn't like you or the channel. With that said, maybe you get that studio going. We'd love to watch you do that. I love the show but have been out sick and watch all I can. I always try to catch replay. Your analytical breakdowns are legendary. Working through some of the videos and content that doesn't make sense. You do such a great job with that. Enjoying the variety of cases covered. I'm glad you don't encourage people to complain they have been triggered or are offended by something. Always nice to see the antics of your pets.
Yeah, this is many people. This is over 200 people, Vanessa. It's not one person, it's 200 people. These are all their different thoughts and comments.
You earn every penny bright. We thank you.
Thanks, Ben Hills.
Always nice to see the antics of your pets. Love it. I watch every night already. Love your show. Enjoy the variety, cold cases, trials and updates on current cases. Also nice when we get to see sweet Chloe and Blue. Maybe interviewing people more that have to do with some of the current cases you do. I enjoy people calling in and sharing their ideas and speculations based on facts. Your commentary as we watch trials, interviews, etc. together. Delphi. Do missing persons and cold cases. Be nice. I really love when you do the walkthroughs. It blew my mind back when you did the video when they were still searching for Ganon Staunch on Shadows to answer the did he or didn't he get into the truck. I rarely get to catch a whole live, but I always have it open and will rewind. I do enjoy Tommy stamps. Can't think of a thing. I like and appreciate your shoe now as it is. Hardly a stream goes by where you have not made me have a good laugh. And that is important too. I was dying lolling during the trial the other day. Sometimes it relieves pressure to lighten things up some. I'm there every single time you're live. Unless I have errands to run. More cases covered from Watcher recommendations. Short videos on cases that go along with cases covered on live streams. More interactive with viewers. Have them call in or even video chat with you about cases you have found, or maybe talk with them about cases they have found interesting. More of your commentary. If you didn't get so upset with the idiots and just let it go, ampersand consider the source. I watch every show but replay some due to work schedule. Your humor is funny even when you're not meaning to be funny. I get tickled. Less troll talk and asking for money. I like you for who you are, Gray. Be considerate of the people watching you. Name calling and mean remarks have become quite off-putting. Focus on true crime. Which is what you used to do. I rarely comment anymore out of fear of being ridiculed or called out. I find it funny that lately you are always asking if the chat is still there. I think many listeners are holding back for the same reason, hence little interactions.
Yes, I don't know if I agree with that, because when I'm reading is the only time where nobody's saying anything. And they always say, oh, I'm just here listening in the background, Gray. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It doesn't seem like that is... I don't know. Maybe you guys think differently. I don't know.
I think many listeners are holding back for the same reason, hence little interactions. Because of the time difference, I'm rarely able to catch a live show. I'm always on replay. So more live shows. Nothing that I can think of. Maybe a goofy criminal story during intermission. More Flyby on Google Earth. Haven't heard that song I've Drawn a Blank a mod sang during Flyby. More Grey karaoke rap. Kind of turn these gruesome cases with retarded stuff. Grey does pretty good with sound effects, his dogs and such. He's a comedian. Oh, he's factual. That's why I keep coming back. I can't think of anything at this time. I love the show, Grey and the Freaks, so much, and I already watch the show every night. I'm very shy, so I don't chat very often, but I watch and learn so much. The only reason I can't watch more is time and time difference from Australia. Nothing you're doing wrong. If you be nicer to people. Like Gray's discussions at beginning of show. That may be because I am English that I find it interesting. I'm unable to stay up late and get too involved in chats. I get too wound up and can't sleep afterwards. I watch as much as I can, but being on East Coast I do fall asleep sometimes before end of show. Not sure. Less old cold cases from newspapers, unless famous. New unresolved cases, that is since 2000 maybe. People go missing all the time and true crime shows only cover one or two of them. By bringing attention to new unresolved cases that have not been covered by the true crime channels, you may spark the public's interest and have that case go viral with them. Thus giving that family and friends help finding the poor victim and or his or her killer. Or stuff on the latest cases, timelines, good especially with the maps and where they lived, drove when or where, possibly. Love your maps. I watch you every day. I try to watch each night, or play the replay, but I feel guilty in not donating more to the good cause. Having a few earlier shows now and then would help me watch and perhaps chat more. I don't like chatting when it's a later show and I'm sleepy because I want to make fact-based comments or questions worthy of the intelligent bar you set. I also don't like to check in with a hi to everyone and feel badly if I don't address my chat friends individually. I know it drives you crazy, but I feel torn between not firing you up versus offending those who are greeting me specifically. I don't think that's your problem as much as it is mine. More episode updates. More recent unsolved crimes. Watch every night. The show is always amazing. I watch everything I can anymore and I'd never leave my room. To be honest, I enjoy everything. I would suggest the cold cases not being so old and maybe having a mix of a more current case update along with the cold cases. I watch every night, so really nothing. I think the show is perfect. Well, I always tune in. I hope he continues his show, it's very good. I don't mind his banter with his mods. The trolls are annoying and get his frustration with them. I also enjoy updates on cases that he has previously covered and there is updated information. Maybe more special guests, but I will always listen. I think it would be neat if we could see some sort of feedback from the charities that we all contribute to. Also, I miss interviews with family members and the street view mapping. I must say that I am very grateful to Gray and his show every evening and have for the past 4 years. His show saved me at a time I really needed it and I'll continue to watch and support his channel as long as he's on. Freak forever. Pay less attention to trolls, they don't deserve your time or energy, and be more accepting of others' opinions. More recent unsolved cases, serial killer cases. I already watch or listen daily and nightly. It might be interesting, and Gray did occasional specials on some of the famous, controversial cases and gave his opinion on what happened or who the culprit was. Ripper, Zodiac, Hoffa, etc. If Gray has pictures, anecdotes from CrimeCon that would be interesting to hear about. Maybe create an email address for stories and add a mod as an administrator on it with you to sift through and organize for you and file them into your file folder. This way you don't have to worry about that part. I am sure you get a crap ton of emails and messages daily, and that in itself has to be nutty. Maybe Raid or Shogun, or all three lol, can help you and get it organized so when it's showtime you can just sit back, chill and do your show without people distracting you, which in turn distracts your flow of the show. Also, how you have your messages automatically pop into the chat. Create one that says thank you for your articles, everything will be reviewed and presents in a timely manner. If it is urgent, flag me down by...
There's no way to do that because it doesn't know that I got an article. Unless you're just generally, hey, if you sent me an article, thank you.
If it is urgent, flag me down by dropping the look emoji. Just little suggestions to help you so you can have more time doing what you do best. Call-ins occasionally. Just me having more free time. I love every show when I can be here. I love when you take calls and interact with the chat. I love your Mary Lou skits. Nothing. I like it the way it is. It's okay how you have it. Shorter shows. Less emphasis on donations. A once-a-week show or part of show devoted to exposing a harmful true crime channel or creator. I am scared of the way the TC community is going, with actors in it for money only and creating false sensational content. I believe we're months away from YouTube taking action and demonetizing true crime content across the board, as they have with other subjects in the past. My brother-in-law Charles is freelance consultant for YouTube since 2015, and we talked about this over Easter. We are seeing the start of it. With the AI model they use, generating a back-end auto-transcription of every video and live and demonetizing over certain words. They're testing now, where a crime word will be flagged. They will do a random 50% demonetize, keep the other 50% monetized and track to see if creators clean up behavior naturally. Like negative reinforcement effect. Difficult to explain in a sentence or two, but they are heavily focusing on TC and if it has a future on the platform, since advertisers are pulling away, requesting no association with crime videos because of how crazy it's become. You are rational and are able to analyze these activities better than anyone. This will warn people, put the creator on notice, and at the same get more viewers and new subscribers for you, because let's be real here. Dramatic sells and is the golden ticket for views and subscribers. You are not a drama channel. But working to put the hammer on these crime drama channels is a win-win. exposure and understand of why it causes harm to viewers who will learn to stay away and stick with fact channels like you, and also add those new viewers and potential subscribers who learn of your from this.
Yeah, what do you guys think of that one? So that's the thing, is I want to do that. Just like that one just absolutely ridiculous creator in the Delphi case. You know, like putting out completely false information. And everybody's like, wow, ooh, it's so interesting. And I think somebody needs to be the person who lets everybody know that it's complete trash, right? So whether that's me or not, yeah, people don't like that it gives them, oh, you're giving them a name. But I think it's good when people know that they're not putting out rational and accurate information.
From this. No. Less asking for money, more current cases, less complaining about long hours, less political discussion or more acceptance of others' views, accepting criticism with good nature. Less asking for money. Maybe have a goal gimmick for each night like the Apple. You suggested use of your drone. If you believe you can use this effectively, I would be beyond interested, and there is a large drone community who would be in this specific topic. I think a video on drone use for investigative purposes would do well. Nothing. I'd like more updates on cases we view. Like maybe another interview with DJ Ficky's sister or another interview with Misty Watterson, etc. Overall your shows are awesome and your streams I always appreciate your hard work shows. Less rants about attacks on you. We all know your heart. Less drama. Less gripe about trolls. Make your point and move on. I think your show is already good, I just wish I had more time. Being able to listen sometimes without having to watch every minute. Edited lives. More completed crime reenactments theory. One positive happy vibes, two a warm welcome. I watch almost every show you put out. Day or evening, or both. Love the live streaming but would also watch videos that cover a specific case. Nothing. More compelling intriguing content, more variety, more Gray's thoughts opinions theories, shorter shows maybe 2 a day too, more diverse content. All I can say is I really love the streaming of trials. It helps when I work all day and can watch it on replay. It would be neat to see more collaboration with you and others in the true crime law enforcement industry. I try to watch daily. I miss the nights where you randomly look for newspaper cases by typing suggestions like murdered with pickaxe, dead body in freezer, etc. Pot of boiling heads, etc. It seemed to be right amount of interaction. I miss your flyovers at the end. Either way, it's your show and I like how you are blunt to the point and fact-based with morals and ethics. Don't drop the newspaper reading. If it's not popular, maybe it could be a members only on Sat morning. Enjoyed the Flowers documentary. Earlier in the day, YouTube actually sending me notifications and a schedule of when to expect live shows. Only a 2-month member and still learning. Short produced videos laying out basics of a case. I don't know anything about the Daybell case. Seeing it as a title of an episode makes me hesitant to watch because I am uninformed. Similar, Delphi without new developments turns me off because I know it's just calls repetitive. I try to watch as often as I can, maybe adding variety. I like the suggestion above, behind the scenes, how to with the animations, etc. Less call-ins. I work so I catch replay but watch shows every night. I watch at 5 or more night a week. A little longer of an intro. I get in there as fast as I can and miss the very beginning.
Yeah, so like right...
The time and effort you put into your content. Exclamation mark, so here's my donation to you, hugging face. I hope you're feeling better. Victory hand.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I feel a little bit better. So it says a longer intro, and then I get complaints. Your intro is too long. Yeah, so it's kind of like, yeah, which one do you do, right?
I really like it as it is. More cases local to me. Fine the way it is. Can't think of any improvements that would make me watch more. I already watch daily. Other than the above, you do it all incredibly right. A word about the chat. It's a great way for you to interact with your audience, but I think you try to control it too much. Your chat is like a little club, and sometimes they get chatty and spend too much time socializing when you really want their attention and respect. That might be unrealistic. Show times. Different seasons means my chance to watch a live is hit or miss. Why isn't there an all of the above option with a "do you enjoy the chat" question? Less complaining and arguing with the chat. More recent cases, even if they're not in the headlines. Today's best stories. The murder of Sophie Toscan de Plantier in Cork, Ireland, is an interesting case. The Irish police Gardaí made an awful mess of the investigation. I'm sure you've probably heard of it, but think it would be cool if you were looking for cases. Really loved the Dietlove Pass incident show, the shows where you were reading the old newspaper coverage of cold cases. There was great background music and very well read. Thanks for this opportunity. edemaran@hotmail.com. A few earlier shows a month would be great. Have enjoyed the trial streaming as it's on early enough for me to watch live. I watch all the time. Stop bashing the chat. My work schedule. I usually just watch the replay. I already watch it as much as I can lol. I pretty much watch you every night. I just don't comment in the chat. No idea. Love your maps, just want to hear about case and see graphics, no other distractions going on like donations and call-ins which seem to drag out show. Love your different stories, you have a unique spin on different cases. I love the visual work you show, great job // facts were pulled together on Billings / lol murder rapes. Very well done, you tied the cases together perfectly. Thank you for telling that story. Background information. Your show is the best and I watch it every day. I like the chat when it is relevant to the cases. I love Chloe and Blue. Call-ins are interesting most of the times and I enjoy your mapping of the cases. You're a master on Google Earth. The cold cases, you giving to true crime charities, Colin Fitzpatrick, Kalian and other guests. Your show has it all. Don't change anything of that, it's what makes your channel different and reliable. I really like when you have guests on your show, your interviews with some of the victims' families too. I watch very often, but if it were a case very near to my location I would watch non-stop. Nothing.
That's just nothing means somebody didn't have anything to say. So there you go. That was the good stuff. Isn't that awesome? Yeah. Huh? Yeah, we heard it, Danielle, yep. Let's see. I'm scared to see my survey. This is a survey that Danielle created. Didn't have any, questions about what do you like about it, but so it's all kind of negative stuff, but some positive people, comments mixed in there. But the questions are all sort of negative, like, what don't you like? What do you, what would make it better? But so there was like 200 and something people that responded. I think it's time to shut the survey down now. I don't want to keep like, oh, here's an update to the survey.
Want to control the chat,
we can do a different one later.
You lose the chat's attention, thus respect.
Yeah, nobody's going to answer like, what do you enjoy? There's only really two columns where people type in a bunch of stuff. All right, so let's see. Let me get so that was that one. And then, what do you not like about the show? Yeah, hold on. All right, here we go. We'll play it now.
You're yelling at chat and alienating people. Very old cases. Whiners. There is nothing I don't like about the show. I love it. Nothing that would legitimately be a deal breaker. Nothing negative. I don't like that there's no time stamps. I don't like being asked for donations constantly. I don't like how defensive you get when you receive constructive criticism. Mood changes, misunderstanding chat comments. I do love your brutally honesty. Answer more questions please. Grey stopping the show. Trolls. Call-ins. Communicating with chat when listeners are listening to you about crime. I respect that you have no tolerance for stupidity.
Yeah, see how it gets like in a weird place? Like, oh, you're spending too much time talking in the chat. Great, you don't read enough questions in the chat. Great, you don't. So I'm not really sure. Sometimes it's hard to know what people really want. My thing is, I know that the money, wanting the super chats and everything is something a lot of people are mentioning in there. I didn't used to have to actually ask. That's the difference, I don't like it. I hate it. So I get it. I get it. Like, it's not fun, for people to hear that. You know what I'm saying? But I think my analogy is a pretty good one that I brought up earlier, and that's what it feels like. It's really these people that do the shows and don't say anything and nobody sends anything in. I guarantee it, they feel crappy later. They're probably going, God, man, how come, And that's the thing, is I don't know why their viewers don't support them nightly. Pretend they're at their a cup of coffee or something. This, I don't know, man. I don't really know what else to say other than what I just said. It is what it is. Let me close these down here. Hey, is that Pebs W? Holy crap. What's going on? Seen any algae blooms lately? Have you seen any killer algae blooms? Let's see.
I will always watch. I love the freaks. Gray is a very caring person. The charity's a lone art proof. As people do struggle, look at the accomplishments. No matter what, Gray, you should be very proud. LV or LV.
Oh, thank you, Pebs. That was nice.
I respect that you have no tolerance for stupidity, but your approach comes off too harsh, and for that reason I do not participate in chat. I get it that trolls should be called out, but it seems kinda aggressive to go after people who are just sharing their opinions. Less targeting your chat would be appreciated. You have mods and they are there to weed out the ridiculous and inappropriate. Engaging with your chat is great, but berating almost everything little thing is off-putting. Trolls. I love this show. It's down to earth. Sorry, can't help with this question. The length, but that's where timestamps could help me. I don't have a lot of free time to watch the entire show. Too much attention placed on not enough donations. People will donate when and if they can. The sound effects when people give. I don't mind the dancing taco or whatever, but the sound interrupting what is being discussed grinds.
See, there you go, Tosh. They don't mind the dancing taco, the one thing, right?
I don't mind the dancing taco or whatever, but the sound interrupting what is being discussed grinds my gears. Nothing really comes to mind.
I have the audio for the sound effects lower than the audio. So if you just keep paying attention to what somebody's saying, you'll be able to hear it. Okay? That's the reality.
Nothing really comes to mind. When I miss it live. It's my fault though. Trolls. It is on late, so I catch them after the fact much of the time. Living on the East Coast, it's sometimes late for me. I like everything. The trolls that try to make you lose focus. Even so, you handle them so much better than I could. One of the few things I don't like is when you are negative, not the straightforward, dry sense of humor, cantankerous. I love that stuff. Saying things like, this isn't even worth my time. I have no problem with you asking for money. I think most live stream YouTubers do that in some form. But when you say, wow, it's a slow night, or I'm just ending this early.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is that's why I don't like having to ask, because it makes me feel like that. You know, let's say you're 2 hours into a show. I mean, I have said those things, and it makes me feel bad, right? You're like 2 hours into the show, and there's like $40 in super chats. Okay, and then I donate, like I do. I mean, I do donate over 50%, so of the net revenue. So then you're looking at like something like $6 an hour for a whole day's worth of work. So yeah, it gets frustrating. And I have said that before, and I shouldn't say those things. It's a little too much. But to be honest, that's how I was feeling at the moment when I said it. Okay? That's just the reality of it.
It's a slow night, or I'm just ending this early. It just rubs me wrong. Not really a big deal.
Rage quit.
No more serial killer Sunday. Nothing. Long call-ins. My only complaint, which isn't really a complaint, I live on the East Coast and usually start out listening to the show just to fall asleep and end up watching the next day. But hey, that's 2 views from me. Sometimes people calling in and having nothing constructive or relevant to add to the show.
Thanks, Marie.
When you get upset, BCPPL derail you. Mary Lou's voice. Lol, I actually don't have any complaints. My least favorite are the random call-ins. I do like interviews with experts and others directly affected by cases being
All right, well, guys, that's tomorrow night. We're going to have Dr. Colleen Fitzpatrick and the sister of and the detective in that East Haven, Connecticut cold case. All right, so there you go. That answers that one for everybody.
I do like interviews with experts and others directly affected by cases being discussed live or otherwise. The way you map. I like everything about it. I really enjoy everything about your show. There is nothing I don't like. The chat is not very inviting. I can't think of one thing I don't like about the show. Oh, one thing, some of the freaks I could strangle and then you would be doing a show about me, ha ha ha. I don't like call-in shows. I don't like really old cases. I hate feeling guilty about not donating. The dumb people who pop in the chats. Politics. The frustration of procuring donations.
See, that seems like
you give the trolls too much attention. Trolls. Nothing. You're a little mean sometimes, but I get it. 7 days a week. Trolls and how they make Grey angry. And how Grey gets sad sometimes. You really need to give yourself more credit and a tap on the back and not let shitty nights get you down. What you do is awesome all on its own, regardless if we have 200 people watching or 900 people watching. You make a difference in people's lives and people look forward to your input and your show nightly. I feel like you're on a lot and resentful about it. Keep the charitable donations if you're not happy with your income. Or just do the charity ones last night of the month. I like all of your show, except the trolls. I do not like the politics and leave the show when prolonged. I enjoy the shows, just dislike the time difference, but that's out of our control. I appreciate all that is done in the community. I have a hard time with call-ins, not all but most, it's a me thing. I'm a get to the point and say goodbye lol, I'm not a phone talker anyway. How rude you are to people you think are trolls but are not. Bullying. Calling people names. Telling people their ideas are stupid dumb. Bitching about people not chatting enough, then bitching because we chat too much. Constantly asking for donations, spread it out more. Trolls. Sometimes you misunderstand people in the chat who are paying you compliments. It can get a little uncomfortable at times. Call-ins. The way people get offended easily, and has you go into a tangent. Fuck them. You have a kind soul. Sometimes it is best to just say nothing. But you are quick on your feet and it's your show and I like your tangents too. I am talking about the trolls. Just the trolls. Lol. Not much, you're awesome. Your show would be perfect. If you had more patience with people. Less Mardy, grumpy and rude. That's the thing I think puts people off.
Man, I sound like
you
a
did
nightmare.
ask low. Cold cases are too long ago. Nothing I don't like. Your brutal honesty and tenacity. Sometimes I cannot always watch a live and you really bring my lonely life some happiness when I can watch the replay in the morning. When you delete them, like recent Delphi, it sucks. I love your show. I already stated in the other part. You really do incredible work. Example Delphi timeline, how you stabilize Libby's video. The work on the girl who went to lake with car and you worked on the forest came to show her going off-road. The fact you deal with facts is one of your best attributes. The only gripe I have is that I'm 2 dimensions ahead of you, but I don't think that's anything either of us can change. I like your show. Your political comments. You do a great job, not easy doing 2 shows a day. Sometimes the chat drama gets old, but I'm pretty good at tuning that out. I like all. That loud train horn lol hurts my ears when I have my earbuds in. Too long, too slow,
Don't like
too
the
much
horn.
crankiness. We are all tired at the end of the day, and the irritated attitude you sometimes take turns me off. I come for the information you provide, and I mostly enjoy the banter and camaraderie, but when you go on and on about stupid people in the comment section, that makes me turn off the show. Old cases. Too long for me personally. I was never a member, but watched and donated a couple of times. To be honest, there were too many shows where I felt like you were very disrespectful to the chat and several times demeaned people who were genuinely asking good questions and tell them to get lost. This attitude made me not even want to participate with you or even others in chat because you might deem my question as stupid or ask me to leave. Your grumpness. As many times, I have zero clue who you snippet or why. I've been waiting to tell you this forever. I love the factual information. It's the only reason I watch. I can't stand the constant whining and calling people trolls. You read comments and misinterpret them more often than not. You go off about anything and everything. You want to keep saying trolls are saying things and you get angry. The truth is, most of the time you are going off on your loyal members. Then you block people if you don't like what's being said. Dude, I realize you are probably on.
Yeah, see, the thing is I never block somebody just because I don't like what they're saying. I might remove a comment or something like that. I block people who literally say stuff like troll comment, like literally something like, oh my god, you're stealing, or you're doing this, or your channel's trash, Gray, and you're, boom, you're gone. Okay, so I'm not going to listen to that stuff. All right, it's just the way it is. So if you want to come in and make troll comments, you'll likely be removed.
Dude, I realize you are probably on the spectrum.
See, this whole statement here now, you got to look at as being a troll because it says, dude, I realize you're probably on the spectrum. Hey, well, I'll tell you what, if that's true, aren't you being bigoted right now because you're attacking somebody that you just said has a mental disorder? And, you're getting a little harsh. You should realize that they're just different than you. Yeah.
Dude, I realize you are probably on the spectrum, but come on. It's not okay to talk to people the way you do. Then your members pile on. I don't get it. Your content is so professional, but your attitude is anything but. We never know what another person is going through, and kindness goes a long way. I can totally understand if people are really trolls, but even if they are, why give them what they want? They love setting you off and you fall right into it.
Well, you're a troll too.
Every
that's
single
on
time.
the spectrum.
It doesn't take much to set you off. People are not watching others because of drama. Well, maybe some are. People are not interested in being abused by your words and conduct. Stop with the but Gray present the cases. Be kind. Stop whining and complaining. Let people talk about whatever they want in chat. Why do you need to control chat? This may be the only communication your viewers have. They probably need human interaction. I hope you take this in a constructive manner. I mean no harm. I rarely chat.
Right.
Sometimes I read chat. Most of the time I don't. I can't donate as I'm not currently working. I've had a tough time working since my son died. Someday I will go back and will be more than happy to donate. Your personality, you tell it the way it is, and most of the...
Wait a minute, why the hell would you give me a nickel after you just wrote all this stuff up here? Jesus, that's crazy. Anyways,
Your personality, you tell it the way it is, and most of the shows you put out. I like everything. I really enjoy the way you run your channel. You cover all the cases and dive deep into them with facts. Trolls. Honestly, I like everything. When you talk about how crappy a night is for your income after many people have given you their hard-earned cash.
Yep.
The amount of trolls that waste everyone's time. Call-ins.
Yeah, so the thing is, I'm actually just honest. So let's say I had a night where 3 people gave me their hard-earned cash of $5 a piece. Am I supposed to say, wow, what a great night? That's the thing is, I don't know how to be fake, you guys. It would be really hard for me to be a fake person.
Call-ins, unless they are professionally related to the case in some capacity or are family members. I always switch it off otherwise. Troll interruptions and chat going off on other cases distracting my attention away from the case at hand. The trolls. Some of the noises are distracting at times. When you are in a bad mood, dismissive of callers' opinions, not ones with theories. Sometimes you are cranky. Bring back vacations or something of the like.
Vacations.
I liked the chill session.
People hated those.
People staying off topic in chat. Like evading. Constant bitching about $ampersand politics. Just when you talk about the trolls. They don't deserve your attention, but I understand why you feel frustrated and why you talk about them. And I respect your doing so. Too much off-topic chat room conversations going on while reviewing different cases. When we are watching testimony and the taco stomp etc. comes on and we can't hear what is being said. When Reddit is brought up, we see they're not worth the time. I enjoy the show.
Hey, wow, thanks, Scout Dude. Jeez. That's so kind. Thank you very much. There we go. Gotta get you in the spins there.
I enjoy the show. You do a great job handling the chat. No complaints. I love the show. The callers. When you get offended. Those super chat dancing tacos pop up and block the screen view. When you...
Well, that's somebody who doesn't like the taco stop dancer. Too bad. Thank you.
True crime pimp of the year since 2020.
When you have to keep saying where income goes every show. I get the reason why, but maybe like the warning message at the start of the show. Make something like that about the donations and income. Trolls suck the life out of everything, shouldn't even be necessary. It does get slow at times when the chat isn't into discussing what's being shown, I can tell you feel that. Lol. When you use your stupid cartoon voice. I have enjoyed all so far. I like everything. No complaints. How cases listed as the title of live streams are not in order of the cases covered on the stream. I am still fairly new to your channel, so I can't honestly answer this question with any helpful advice if there is something I don't particularly like. There's nothing not to like. The freaks in chat. Calming nature of your voice. The cases. Your pups, of course. When Gray gets frustrated. It's all good. The call-ins are a little nerve-wracking sometimes. I'm like yelling into my phone at some of these crazy people. Duh. Gray talking and inserting sounds during testimonies when the judge, witnesses or attorneys are talking. Constantly asking for super chats, pipe etc. Mods deleting comments they don't like and then being condescending about it if questioned. Gray assuming new subscribers or new YouTube channels are trolls if they post a comment.
So that was one for the mods there. Deleting comments. So yeah, that's one of the things I think we're deleting comments that you just don't like sometimes. I've seen that. I've actually had to like tell the person, hey, you know, like sometimes there's comments that are something you just don't like because it's just sort of, you know, ridiculous, really. And, you know, just leave those ones up there. Okay? I mean, it's no big deal. The only ones you should really delete are ones that are disparaging the channel or they're attacking, you know, somebody. But here's the thing. Sometimes I've seen the battles sometimes like you'll have with a moderator and a regular person where it's sort of, you know, it's easy to win being a moderator because you just keep blocking and blocking, you know, delete. But, you know, if they're responding to something you said, you got to treat them like, even if you don't like it, it's just kind of like, let's say you're the one that started it with them. Like, hey, don't do this. And they go, what are you talking about? You know, I don't know. I just want more of the comments to be left in the chat, even ones that aren't really great. You know, I just want the disparaging ones removed. The ones maybe attacking somebody else in the chat too, something like that. That makes sense? No, Lily, I'm just going to end the show right afterwards. Thanks.
Gray assuming new subscribers or new YouTube channels are trolls if they post a comment in chat that is not liked or have an opinion that is different. I love the show, but sometimes I can't stay up too late. That's why you see me in morning. Afternoon a lot more, but I do watch replay. Also you need to add the tip on replays to get tipped when we watch replay, sir. I feel guilty for not donating $every.night. I also have noticed an increase in derogatory remarks towards the chat. If you are under such pressure to get donations, a little kindness can go further than all the snarky remarks.
Yeah.
I feel the focus has gone from true crime to fundraising. Perhaps reduce the high expectation for huge dollar from each show. The trolls. Nothing.
It's never huge.
Getting yelled at by Grey. Otherwise it's a very entertaining, packed show that is usually on when I am out with the children. So, I don't like that I miss the lives. Everything. Grey is straightforward. No BS. Grey puts a lot of time into his shows. He's prepared with factual information. I love the show. I just wish there wasn't so much stress always on donating and the income of the channel. I would love to donate more, but I can't afford to, and it makes me feel really guilty for listening and watching every night.
Yeah, see, I mean, the thing is, I understand. I mean, I do ask for it. I understand what you're saying. Because, yeah, I mean, what I'm saying, let's say even my analogy is similar to that, right? Like you could say, maybe there's people that want to go watch a comedian, they just don't have any money to give the comedian. So they watch it. But I mean, I think they would actually feel guilty every night walking out anyways. I mean, the thing is I think people think of YouTubers as sort of something different, like it's not the same thing. But I have a feeling that in the real world, if you went to watch a comedian, you didn't have the money, but you went there and watched every single night, you'd probably feel sort of bad about it. So I don't know if that's my analogy maybe isn't the greatest one with that, but I mean, you know what I'm saying, right? So I say it all the time, I don't want people sending a nickel who can't afford it. But if you can't afford it and you want to help support the channel, that would be great. Thank you. Right? I mean, I just that's all I say all the time. But then sometimes it just feels like it falls on deaf ears on certain nights, And it isn't until somebody throws me in prison, which, wow, I mean, how come I had to go to prison for that? Thanks, you're Gypsy.
I would love to donate more, but I can't afford to, and it makes me feel really guilty for listening and watching every night. I like everything. Maybe trolls are a pain, but that's a standard on most channels. You're great, Grey. I mostly stay to myself because of you getting nasty with people. Everybody, not all trolls. Nothing. Honestly, sometimes I think you overwork yourself and get upset over things on chat that your moderators can take care of. It becomes distracting. You can have hundreds appreciating what you're doing, but focus on one bad egg. Block them and roll, I say. It's not a constant issue, just some feedback. I like everything. When Grey gets fixated on a troll's comment and doesn't just move on and let it go. When we go over old cold cases that you read from old newspaper articles, unless a famous case. Nothing we can do about them now if they are over 20 or 30 plus YRS. Old. I know you say.
Yeah, so like this one here says, when you go over old cold cases that you read from old newspaper articles, unless it's a famous case, of course, nothing we can do about them now. They are over 20 or 30 years old. Well, to be honest with you, there's really likely nothing you can do about anything, even if it was a case yesterday. It's just something in your mind that's your perception is, oh, wow, it's today. We can go do something. We go out and we try to figure out, and I think we put together things. And I know that we've actually helped sometimes in current ones, like when Maddie Bell, the sheriff actually got a hold of me and was talking to me behind the scenes because he liked what we were doing. We interviewed people, gave me information, and it turned out we actually figured out what happened, that she left on her own in that case. So, yeah, I mean, it does work, but I mean, so let me just finish playing this one.
Old. I know you say bring awareness to them and it may jog someone's memory, but unlikely, unfortunately.
Yeah, so just forget about them, I guess.
The verification of cases. Stopping the show to way to reach a daily dollar amount. When people say that you're so mean and you go to jail is much more funny than when you jail yourself.
Right, I hate putting
The
myself
natural
in prison.
progression of the donations is, to me, more entertaining.
Yeah, it sucks. You guys even see me say, oh, God, I'm at the resort to putting myself in prison. You know, it's horrible.
People calling in and the miscommunication that happens because you both talk at the same time. Music is too loud. Trolls. The show is great. There's nothing I don't like. Because of the time difference, I watch late at night, early morning if live. Some of the sound effects you use are too loud and so I have to switch off or can't fall asleep with you in background. I know the train's supposed to wake people up, but it's too much for me. I love the laid-back presentation. I feel like I'm part of a family. Enjoy the chats, videos of the dogs you getting upset with the trolls. My husband asks if I'm listening. Wait, Uncle Gray, when he hears your voice. Trolls. I think Gray does an excellent job with research, diagrams, animation and presentation. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I did stop watching in my membership because it seemed like Gray was scolding people, which occasionally it was fine and needed, but it was getting to be on the daily so I couldn't handle it anymore. You can tell Gray works very hard, truly cares and wants to make a difference, and his shows are really good. I think he puts too much pressure on himself too, and it's okay to take some time off. Not saying this to upset Gray because you can tell he really works hard and cares. The not quite high-pitched beep 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 that can be heard during every show.
Does anybody know what that means? The high-pitched beep beep beep? Have any of you guys heard what that is? I don't even know what that means. I think there's something wrong with their computer. I mean, unless you guys... I've never heard a soul mention that before. Does anybody hear a high-pitched beep, beep, beep? Now, what is the high-pitched beep, beep, beep? I don't have one. 15 Lee. Oh, yeah, I mean, maybe if it's a home alarm door being opened, Jesus. I mean, God, give me a break. I mean, that literally makes somebody upset. God, go find something better than that. That's whatever. I mean, not to, I'm just, to me, that's ludicrous. Okay. All right. And that's not even that common. It just happens like when my wife comes home from work.
The not quite high-pitched beep 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 that can be heard during every show. I guess what bugs me sometimes is the goal being raised each year. I feel like it's never enough and I lose my motivation to keep giving. I enjoy your opinion and the in-depth coverage. Bad mood.
I know it's terrible to raise your goal each year. Man, that's...
Bad mood, rude. When I first started watching, thought you were mean to people. Now I'm used to you and know you aren't mean. I have always been interested in true crime and in the YouTube genre. He is among the creators with the highest ethics, most experience and unique skill set to keep the cases interesting. That is why I like it. I do not like the callers, although I understand why that is a feature, and it is nice to see Gray's gracious side with some of the sillier ones. I love your show. If I cannot catch a live, I watch the replay or sometimes I have to sneak in later. But I don't have anything negative to say about you or your show, Gray. You run a tight ship and I appreciate that. I like and appreciate that you call for order more or less because any drama is a distraction, and then it's hard for you to do your show and hard for the majority of us to follow. Nothing, it's fine as is. You are the goat of true crime, no sugarcoating, the real deal, honest and factual. Seeing you upset on slower nights. It's long sometimes. Talking about money. I like it all. Too long sometimes. Constant reminders to donate. The attention or preference to interact with those who are frequent high donators. Favoritism towards those who donate larger repeated amounts versus donators who donate less. When chat upsets you, I would get a mod.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with like less or not. But the people that donate money, and they pop up on the screen more. So you see them more often, right? That's what a super chat was meant to be. When somebody sends in a super chat, it pops up on the screen and you focus on it. So yeah, you tend to start seeing them more. That's just the way it is, right? I mean, doesn't that seem natural? It's not something intentionally done. Like I don't go, ooh, I better talk to so-and-so more because, it doesn't even pop into my head.
When chat upsets you, I would get a mod to send you the important questions or points from chat so you don't feel like you have to do two big things at once, watch the chat and do the show. I love you, but dislike when you get annoyed reading chat or say things like,
I don't care if the door alarm goes off, you guys. I'm never going to not have the door. So if the beep, beep, beep bugs you, don't ever watch the show again. The door alarm is going to go off, and it's going to go off probably once or twice every single night. But maybe eventually when I get to my wife's looking at me like she did something wrong. See how rude that is, you guys? So when I get the... now she's apologizing. That's ridiculous. Open it up 15 times in a row, okay? So later we're going to... I got a garage being renovated. We're turning it... I have to... I've been saving up for like 4 years to completely turn the garage into a living space where it's just going to be my office, okay? So all the clowns who complain all the time about the beep, 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 you don't have to hear it anymore. But I'll find some other sound to annoy the living shit out of you just for that, okay? Here we go.
I love you, but dislike when you get annoyed reading chat or say things like, I don't know what you're talking about, you don't make sense, to chatters. I've had to turn off shows I was interested in because of this. When you talk down to people, even if they are the biggest idiot in the world, it's too negative and unnecessary. No.
You mean just like
incessant
right
talk of money, calling people names, talking over testimony, toilet flushing sound effects during serious cases. Raise insults.
I think that's the perfect time to do a toilet flush when you hear a ludicrous... It's never mistimed. It's always like that was a terrible witness or something. And I'm going to continue to do it. Okay? How do you like that?
Raise insults. Calling members idiots, etc.
Yeah.
It's on a difficult time for me to listen live. I worked some surveillance last year and started listening and really got into your show, but I'm working a more regular schedule now.
So when somebody's a member, they magically can somehow never be an idiot again.
I worked some surveillance last year and started listening and really got into your show, but I'm working a more regular schedule now. We have a little one, so I can't stay up too late even if want to. Replays are fine, but I'd like to give you a call sometime if I could. Can't think of anything. I don't like when the chat gangs up on other members they don't approve of. Chat is brutal.
Yeah, that's not cool. I know that, like if I say something to somebody, then oftentimes you'll see a lot of people sort of ganging up on that person, and we don't need to have that. Let me just I'll just have the conversation with that person, okay?
Chat is not like what it used to be, but there's so much that can be done about that. It feels like a family in chat. When you have a slow night of donations, I don't mind your reminders about what you do with keeping channel going and donations, but don't let it bother you. You may even see an increase in donations. The obnoxious noisy happy birthday in the weird voice. There is nothing I don't like. Overall experience isn't user-friendly. I wish screens...
Well, everybody, no more happy birthdays from Mary Lou, okay?
Overall experience isn't user-friendly. I wish screens had pop-ups of current topic. I wish you were more of a narrator about topic versus more of spectator. More effort prior to videos would show...
I don't even understand this one here. Let's see. Overall experience isn't user-friendly. I wish screens had pop-ups of current topic. I wish you were more of a narrator about topic versus more of spectator. I have no idea what that even means. More effort prior to videos would show up in the stream. Well, I think that just means you have no clue, okay? I feel a lot of questions are ignored in chat about the stream from the mods. Okay. Yeah, all right. So more effort. I need to put more effort in before the show, everybody. Yep, I gotta get up at 3 in the morning, do nothing else, come up with pop-ups, have all these things coming around. Oh yeah, it's gonna be good times. Let's see.
More effort prior to videos would show in the stream. I feel a lot of questions are ignored in chat about the stream from mods. How you bite others' PPL heads off then block or tell PPL to leave the show. I've noticed it has gotten a bit harsher since the Idaho case. But you are blunt. Too much off-topic chatter. Call-ins. It's entertaining. I really dislike the avocado notification. Could you at least make the sing shorter?
No.
It's migraine-inducing. Length.
Yeah,
Too long sometimes. Needs more variety or talking about solved cases and how they were solved. Maybe inviting PPL on to talk from law enforcement and science fields. I like everything.
You know, these people keep typing in PPL, and we're watching the Jodi Arias trial currently during the day sometimes, and it says, maybe invite PPL, prepaid legal. Just say people, you guys. It doesn't save a lot of time. Thanks, Eugenie and Jessica Schubach, and also Three Boys Mom up there. And we're almost done with this, then we'll get on to the cases, okay? You know, this is what I was planning on doing, though, at the beginning. If it's too much for you guys to listen to, then, you know, there's plenty of other people out there that did it the way you wanted it to be done. Unfortunately, I can't read your mind, so I just kind of do it the way I want to do it. It's weird. It's weird how that works. It's strange. Let's see. Right here.
I like everything. I can't complain. I'm a silent watcher. Every now and then I'll make a comment. If I didn't like your content and lives, I wouldn't be subscribed to your channel and I wouldn't watch either. I think you're a very funny guy, and every channel has its own uniqueness. It can sometimes take a seemingly unnecessary negative turn. The arguing with the chat, but it's got to drive you crazy to see it. I think maybe a members-only chat would help that. Trolls, more trolls. Time of day. I like it all. The awful super chat sound effects and voice distortion. Totally okay to take a night off, or have a short show instead of a bad show fighting with trolls. I often have to watch on replay because of the time difference. Timestamps would be really helpful. Maybe the call-in section, when there's tension and interrupts the show. You? Nothing. Sometimes when slow dollar you get upset but get it. Can't think of anything really. Can't think of anything. When sound effects from super chats, etc. accidentally drown out important audio, trial audio, interview audio, etc. That you take things too personally. Trolls etc. don't deserve the time you spend on them.
Yeah. So when you're doing a live, I mean, I guess, I don't know, it's hard to do that because when you're doing a live trial and people are sending in super chats, I mean, there is audio on them. I've turned them way down, but just keep listening. Like, focus in on what the person's saying. You can easily hear it. I can. And my audio is no different than yours at your house. So just, you know, I want to be able to thank people live as it's happening, you know, so.
Trolls etc. don't deserve the time you spend on them. Let it slide. Be the bigger man. I struggle with the chat. Someone just can't let it go. It becomes a huge issue. Or maybe we should just chat their issue. See how far they are willing to go with it, or till the issue is not an issue. I hate stupid people. I like the music and the commentary as long as money and trolls and complain about. When you're reading for a long time. Nothing. I can't think of anything I don't like. I watch because I thoroughly enjoy the show. Although I don't see them all unfortunately and have to watch the recordings, rather than watch live. Only thing I don't like about his show is the trolls turning up in chat. Nothing you can do about that. Otherwise show is awesome. The honesty. Not being grateful for viewers. Some subscribe and can't give to super chats. A membership should be enough sometimes. Nothing.
What is?
Everybody loves a little snark when it is called for, but sometimes I think it is overboard. New people who have never been there before and don't know the rules, people asking a stupid question, someone not understanding the meaning of what was said. Patience is a rare commodity, but it is one of the most valuable. For a while it seemed the entire channel, viewers included, was becoming more and more vicious. I am happy to say that lately it seems to have calmed down. I am known to be a nearly vicious person by many who know me, so I get how difficult it can be to overlook things. It is a worthwhile endeavor though to try to have patience and share peace instead of spite. I only say this because I love you and your channel and the freaks.
I think that's pretty good. I could try to be more patient.
I only say this because I love you and your channel and the freaks. Haven't found anything yet? Dumbasses and trolls. Just want to hear about the case and see visual pertaining to it, narrating story. Variety of presentation. Don't pay the trolls too much attention. 3 mean each day is enough when necessary. I love all the shows I've watched. Nothing.
Well, there you go, everybody. See, I didn't try to hide anything, or that was the entire poll or survey, whatever the hell it was. So, hopefully, I think what I learned the most about is the people don't like the main theme. I would say would be that people don't like the asking for super chats and so forth. People don't like that part. So it would be great if, you guys put me in a position where I didn't have to. You know what I'm saying? Let me get this over here. Like tonight, for example. I haven't asked one time. What do you think of that? Isn't that great? So, anyways, thanks for you guys are all listening to it and everything. I was like 200 and something. But now, can you turn off the poll? I don't know how to turn it off, Danielle. I don't want to keep adding. I just think we have enough. Thanks. Yeah, so anyways, that was it, you guys. That's all, what'd you guys think? It's sort of interesting to hear all that, right? Gray, you're so mean. There's a theme. The biggest one though is the part about super chats and trying to raise funds for myself and the channel, and then what I do with it too. I thought it was weird when somebody said, "I don't like you increasing the goal every year." Really? We went from 22 to 42 to 62. Now this year I said maybe 60 would still be good because we had those crazy couple months. So, actually went down. But it's like, what do you mean you don't increase the goals? Isn't that what you're supposed to do? I don't really understand that one. Yeah, right. So there was that one. There are a whole bunch of stuff in there. It doesn't all pop into my head. You guys want to hear something crazy? What was this thing that... I think I've had like COVID brain or something lately. I think that's a real thing. It's weird. Yeah, people are sending me stuff that I already know about in my email. Yeah, that's what the title of my video says, if you take a look at it. Wait, what? This is something different. Let me add this one. I hate when the drives don't connect quick enough. Yeah, where did I put this? Well, anyways, I was doing, how I took all those COVID tests in a row? Remember that? Well, I knew it was April 27th, right? But I put 7/27. And then I put 7/28. And then I put 7/29. And then I put 7/30 as I kept testing every day. And then the next day I put 5/1. Okay, my brain kicked in. And then I put 5/2. And then I put 9/3 on the next one. Like, wow. That doesn't even seem possible. I actually wrote them on there. So it's 427. I went 727, 728, 729, 730, 51, 5293. I think that's a sign of like COVID brain. That's pretty weird shit right there. Okay, let's see what we're going to do first. Let's do the Richard Allen one first. I'm sorry, it's not in the order that you wanted. So here's the Richard Allen one. Hey, 35 months for Jen H. Uh-oh, look at the dog. Oh. Dogs are going crazy over there. Go get it, Blue. Go get it. Richard Allen's former employer, former prison housing facility, subpoenaed in Delphi case. As background work continues ahead of murder trial of Richard Allen, 2 new subpoenas were filed this week, one for his former employer and one for his former prison housing facility. Allen is currently charged with 2 counts of murder stemming from the 2017 deaths of Libby German and Abigail Williams. Following his arrest in 2022, WRTV Investigates discovered Allen's work history. So this is WRTV. Work history including time spent with CVS Pharmacy in Delphi as a pharmacy technician. Now CVS has been subpoenaed in his murder trial. I mean, that doesn't even really... Does that shock anybody? I mean, let's say you have a killer and he worked at 7-Eleven or something. I mean, yeah, you're going to subpoena those coworkers. I mean, now CVS has been subpoenaed in his murder trial. The subpoena lists the CVS records department and asks for records to be turned over within 30 days, though the exact records requests are not publicly available. Also subpoenaed this week was the Westville Correctional Facility. After being placed in the Westville Correctional Facility for safety, Allen and his attorney filed on April 5th to have him removed from the facility due to poor conditions. In the emergency order, the attorney claimed Allen had been sleeping on a pad on a concrete floor inside of a cell that is no larger than that of a dog kennel. They say he is given little, if any, recreation time outside of what they call cold concrete and metal quarters. The motion claimed that Allen is only allowed to shower 1 or 2 times per week and is often forced to wear the same clothes, including underwear, for days. I don't know. I'm having a hard time believing that in today's society, world, you know. Okay, that was the Richard Allen, and then there's, I think Plato just sent me this Brian Koberger thing. Let's see what the hell this says. Brian Koberger seen in new body cam video at Washington State University releases additional video document. Oh, look at that. Is that one of the times when he was pulled over? Oh, that's crazy. After the ad, everybody, we'll show you the Brian Koberger video. Will be absolutely fantastic. Oh, here we go. Look at that.
Hello. Officer. I am Officer Dominguez. Stops being audio and video recorded. I think you know why I stopped you. You ran the red light.
What actually happened was I was stuck in the middle of the intersection.
Yeah,
so
I was behind
you.
you.
This is October 14th.
The whole time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So technically you're not supposed to enter the intersection at all for that reason, because if the light turns red, then you're stuck in the intersection, and then you run the red light.
3 weeks or so before.
That's the reason I stopped you. Do you have your license on you?
Yep.
Do you have the registration and insurance?
Yes. Let me just get this for you out.
You what?
I'm just gonna get this out for you.
Okay.
So would you explain that to me a little bit further? So in Pennsylvania, when you're stuck like in their intersection, you have to make the left. So what would the appropriate thing for me to have done been? Just
You're
back
not
up in
supposed
that
to
situation?
block an intersection like that in Washington, so just by you blocking the intersection, that's technically a ticketable violation, and then then you're running a red light, so it's another ticketable
Yeah,
offense.
so this is like
So
1 month
You're not supposed to
before.
proceed into the intersection until you
November 13th.
because a lot of people do what you just did, right? Is like you're sitting in the intersection waiting,
Jesus.
and then it
And
turns, and then you're
Oh,
blocking.
God.
Yeah, there was a little bit of confusion with speeding because someone had stopped. I wasn't sure.
He's trying to get out of it by chatting and making it seem like, well, yeah, where I'm from, it's a little different. Can you give me a break this time?
What they were doing, and then they put on their
God, what a
left turn.
creepy looking.
So I thought
Does
that
he
maybe
blink,
they were letting
this
me go
guy?
through.
Oh.
Did you see that?
I mean, that's one of the things I noticed. He doesn't
Like
blink.
Right before I made the turn, there was someone who like, made a
Well,
right.
maybe a little bit.
They didn't have their signal on, so I wasn't sure if they were just waiting.
Yeah, so I would just advise just don't enter the intersection until you can go, so you don't get stuck. Let's see.
But in that situation, the best thing to do then would be back up and not.
I don't know if there's a best
It's like
thing
I
to do in
couldn't-
that situation, because you're either going to back up into somebody,
Yeah.
or you're going to run a red light. So, or you're going to be sitting in an intersection. There's not really a great option there.
Yeah, I was just slightly into the crosswalk, so. Where I'm from Pennsylvania, we actually don't have like crosswalks.
Oh,
So even if
interesting.
you're
Oh,
kind of
wow, that's so
slightly-
interesting, Coburger.
there's a little bit more leeway as well. Like there are a few.
You don't have
lines in Pennsylvania.
crosswalks in Pennsylvania.
There's another one
I call bullshit on that.
Like a certain
Yeah.
margin from which you can
Crosswalks are like
kind of put your vehicle in place.
constitutional almost.
Yeah, so I know laws vary state to state, but there is a law in Washington for blocking an intersection like that, proceeding through when you don't, when you're just stalling. I forget the actual verbiage, I can find it for you, but it's like stalling, blocking an intersection.
Yeah, I'm just curious about the law. I don't mean to.
Oh no, yeah, I can
not
find
like
it for you.
disagree with
Yeah.
anything.
1 second.
Yeah, but I was hoping I could get out of the ticket by having
That
small
looks
talk with you.
good.
But
On a Hyundai. I don't see Pennsylvania registration like at all. Okay, let's see. Expires November 22nd, or 2022. Okay,
this guy's what a.
And-
Just,
Yeah, one of those is actually.
yeah, okay, that looks good. I'll hand that back to you. I'm just going to go check your info. I'll try to find that RCW, the law for you, and I'll be right back.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so I found it. So I don't know what in Pennsylvania where you go to find laws, but in Washington it's called the Revised
I mean,
Code of
we don't even have
Washington.
McDonald's
I'll try to turn my
in
brightness up, but,
Pennsylvania.
it's basically it's just called an RCW, so it's RCW 46.61.202. So it's no driver shall enter an intersection unless there is significant space on the other side of the intersection. To accommodate the vehicle he is operating without obstructing the passage of other vehicles, despite any traffic control signal indications to proceed. So you had a green light, so you're thinking you can go, but you're blocking the intersection. Yeah. So that's, if you're ever curious in any laws in Washington, just Revised Code of Washington. So I'm not writing a ticket or anything like that.
Oh,
today.
work
I
for
understand
him.
you're
Work
from
for him.
Pennsylvania, but in the future, don't proceed through the intersection. You can't get stopped for that alone, unless you can clear it right away.
Okay.
So
So then basically, I understand.
you're just supposed to wait behind the white line.
Well, that-
Drivers do it all the
that's
time.
ridiculous.
It
But
never even occurred to me that was.
Yeah, well, actually, you know what's funny is I actually agree there, because here you got to claim the intersection. If you stay at the white line and you're supposed to turn left in rush hour, you could be there for an hour. You got to pull into the intersection, past the white line,
We found
while it's
Sprizzy
green,
through
and then
a
wait
Google
for
search, pretty
it
much.
to
I was
stop,
looking for a way
and then turn.
to market our YouTube videos in a.
Forget that. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Have you ever done that when you're at a heavy intersection? It's green, but you're in the left turn lane, and you can only turn on green, so you have to pull into the intersection to claim it, and then you take a left. There's no way in hell if you sat there, you would never
we found
make
Sprizzy
it. There's no light.
through a Google search.
If there's a light that allows you to turn left, that's great. But if there isn't one, you can't do that. You know.
Pretty much. I was looking for a way to market our YouTube video.
But it's basically it's just called an RCW, so it's RCW 46.61.202. So it's no driver shall enter an intersection unless there is significant space on the other side of the intersection. To accommodate the vehicle, he is
when
operating
people
without
don't pull into the
passage of
intersection,
other
I get angry
vehicles,
as hell.
despite any traffic control
because you could be there for
signal
an hour,
indications for
literally.
speed. So you had a green light, so you're thinking you can go, but you're blocking the intersection. So that's
Right.
if you're ever curious, and any laws in Washington, just Revised Code of Washington. So I'm not writing a ticket or anything like that today. I understand you're from Pennsylvania, but in the future, don't proceed through the intersection. You can't get stopped for that alone, unless you can clearly just clear it right away.
Okay.
So
So then basically, I understand.
you're just supposed to wait behind the white line. Drivers do it all the time.
No way.
It
But
never even occurred to me that that was actually something wrong. But
yeah.
well, except for the fact that I was blocking the crosswalk, which is what
Yeah.
I went through.
And states vary a lot from laws. Like Pennsylvania might not even have that law, but in Washington we do.
I'm actually just from a very rural area,
Driving in Washington
so
sucks.
we just don't have crosswalks.
Oh,
Unless I visit an area where there are
Gotcha.
crosswalks, and then it's not very frequent.
yeah.
Yeah, I do apologize if I was asking you too many questions about the law. I wasn't trying to
No, not at all. Like I understand you're not from here, so if you don't, a lot of people don't
He's
know.
very
a bunch of
strange. He's got a
laws.
flat
like, I only
affect.
know it because this is what I do.
No
but,
smile. Not one smile
Yeah.
or chuckle.
If you're ever curious on any more laws, just RCW, and they can be hard to read because it's in like legal language, but hope that helps.
definitely
Yeah, have a good day.
you too.
Thanks.
Don't you find that part the oddest part? Like he's in this conversation with an officer. There's a few lighthearted, Chuck, you could kind of give him a smile or something. And he doesn't have anything. He's just like complete flat affect. Just actually makes him a little bit, more creepy for sure. Don't you guys? What do you think? Okay, this is the case. Ada sent me this one. This is the Lauren Heike one that we've been talking about. Let's see. It's probably just some of the same stuff, but somebody knows this person. Distraught parents of Arizona as esthetician 29 found murdered on desert hiking trail after being attacked from behind. Call for help identifying heinous suspect after cops release clip of mystery man running. Distraught family and friends of the Arizona woman who was viciously attacked from behind while she was hiking are pleading with the public. Please think if you had seen something, were in the area, if you know of somebody strange or acting weird. Her mother, Lena Heike, tearful, pleaded with the public Wednesday. Somebody knows this person. Earlier this week, Phoenix police released a short but chilling clip that shows a shadowy figure sprinting on the trail in the area where Heike's body was found. They haven't identified him. Heike's body was discovered nearly 24 hours after she was killed in the area that isn't necessarily visible from the trail. So that's her right there. Those are the parents we were looking at in the interview yesterday. Here's that video again.
Oregon State residents, if you
Gotta
have a
skip the
utility
ad
meter
in 2
like
seconds.
this on the side of your house, you
I wonder if it's like a black man wearing I don't really, it's hard to say, but that's what it seems like, wearing a like a COVID mask or something. I don't know. It looks like a backpack or something on, or it could just be his shirt blowing in the wind, right? See? What do you guys think? The suspect is described as thin man with dark complexion, 5'8", 6 feet tall, who is wearing a gray or light colored shirt, dark pants, a dark backpack, so I guess he does have one, and shoes, police said. Somebody's wearing a backpack or a hoodie or whatever. The video, it's hard to tell. in a sunny, hot day, that person will stand out. When you've done something, you're going to be unusual, Lena said. When you've done something, you're going to be unusual. Heike's father, Jeff Heike, added, she was my little girl. I'm really going to miss her. Yeah, I mean, it's probably very similar to Gonzalez's dad, right? Phoenix Homicide Lieutenant James Hester said in a press conference on Wednesday, said investigators believe someone might have seen the suspect before or after the attack. We believe someone would have noticed this person either before the attack or after. Further, so they must think there might be blood on him. Something that would have stood out like that. It's so weird because he kind of reminds me of Gonzalez a little bit, doesn't she? I mean, just sort of everything. So I think that's her brother, maybe. Or let's see. No, it's a close friend. He was the one that was at the press conference, though. I'm not going to go through the whole article, but these are all in the description if you want to go check it out. Man, you guys, how come nobody's typing? Is it for fear of ridicule? Let's see. What could make... Okay, we did that. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to get into the UC Davis case. So here was a statement put out earlier today. Here we go. And by the way, I played all of that stuff for you guys because I'm not trying to hide something. You know, I wanted to let you guys know what people are thinking. So, you know, it just is what it is. I don't agree with all of it. I think I have my own reasons. I get why people say the stuff that they say, but, you know, sometimes you got to look in the mirror occasionally too, right? It's not just me every single time. You know, it is my show, so, you know, I have to figure out what to do on, you know, be a certain way on my show, but, you know. Let's see. Yeah, well, then you'll have to go back and listen to it. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you guys agreed with some of the stuff in there, you know. So anyways, here is the UC Davis. UC Davis learned that the City of Davis Police, UC Davis Police, and the FBI have identified and arrested a suspect in all 3 stabbing incidents. 2 murders and 1. I think the woman is still alive. The person has been identified as Carlos Reales Dominguez. Let me check something out. Carlos. I think tomorrow is the closing arguments, you guys. So, I guess I have to get up. I'll be up at 7:30 my time. I'm just trying to see if this address will work. Really? Nah, he's only 21, I think, so... Nope. So anyways, that's his name. Carlos Reales Dominguez. Reales Dominguez was in his 3rd year at UC. God, who was the one that said he was probably a college student? God, who was that? Oh, me. Oh, sorry about that. Until April 25th. So literally, like 2 days before he killed, he was a student because he was separated for academic reasons. So he was let go as a student because of his grades, and then he went out on this rampage. We are partnering with law enforcement to provide access to any and all information as part of the investigation. We are providing support to faculty, staff, and students who may have interacted with them as we learn more and are able to provide updates that do not interfere with the ongoing investigation. Also, they have determined he's a serial killer. He fits it. That's what they said. So, 2 different things. We urge the community not to rush to conclusions or speculate until all facts are known. We are grateful for law enforcement's quick response and resolution. All right, let me go to Davis here. Oh, you got your notebook, Robin? All right. Pretty cool. So I think the person lived over here, though. So when they headed this way, they didn't go back on campus. They were just going over here. So let's play this video. So this is from... Hold on.
And
this is going to be from CBS Sacramento.
And we're going to start with breaking news out of Davis. Sources tell CBS 13 a suspect already in custody will officially be arrested in connection with that string of stabbings. This as police begin searching a home this morning. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dominic Garcia. Thanks for joining us at noon. We do have team coverage this afternoon with that breaking news out of Davis. Let's start in the studio here with CBS 13's Julie Watts. Julie, it was you who broke this story. What do we know right now?
And by the way,
law enforcement.
Danielle, if you're still out there, thanks for making the survey. I think it was pretty, it was useful to hear the overall sentiment.
Sources are confirming that later today, Davis PD is going to announce an arrest of the person they took into custody yesterday. You've likely seen the photos, the video by now. The suspect, we're told, had a knife, which is believed. The photos, the video by now. The suspect, we're told, had a...
That's him right there. Almost looks like the Crow or whatever,
Knife, which is believed to be the murder weapon, and we're told that he later confessed to at least one of the murders during questioning. Now, PD got a warrant last night to test this suspect's DNA, which was sent to the lab early this morning. It is believed that the killer rode off with the victim's bike following that second stabbing, so they are likely attempting to match the suspect DNA.
It's like really pale skin and long, kind of wavy hair.
To potentially DNA on that bike. Now, of course,
looks like he's got Adidas pants on even. So, of
course, there was DNA gathered from multiple crime scenes, and they now have what they...
So there's that. And also from...
That breaking news, a large police...
This is KCRA3. They're sort of the main channel in the area there, seems like.
That breaking news, a large police presence in Davis right now centered on...
She looks kind of like Kimberly Guilfoyle a little bit.
The house on Hawthorne Lane. That house is just a few blocks from where a person of interest was taken into custody yesterday. It comes after 3 stabbings in a span of just a week in the city of Davis, where 2 people were killed. One is still recovering. At this point, police are not saying if this search of this home...
Colby and Pine right here. Actually, let me get to the right spot here. Colby and Pine right there.
Is connected to the string of stabbings. KCRA 3's Lizzie Mitri joins us live from the scene right now. Lizzie, what can you see?
Lisa, we got here about an hour ago, and right now you can see the police tape is up. This is Hawthorne Lane.
Okay, so they're saying Hawthorne Lane. So Colby and Pine. Where's Hawthorne? Okay. Ah, Jesus. Come on. Hawthorne Lane? There it is. So it's right there. Does it keep going around? So there's Pine, so maybe it's right over here. Oh, this is exactly where they were in that picture. There's that fence. See, isn't that amazing how there's stuff like that? Just watch, look at this. Look at the coloration on that fence. See how it's light right there with that little, it's right there. See? Right here, it's just a different time of year. Even the tree looks the same. So we're right in the right spot. I have a feeling it's the next, like this is to keep people from going on the street. But the crime scene itself is just right over there. So here we go.
It's blocked off at West 8th Street. And
okay, so it looks like that red house there is the deal. And so if you came down here, I think I can see it. Well, you know, it's hard to say. We're going to have to kind of look a little bit more. But somewhere right around in this area, this house here or something. It does seem like it's right there, though. How about, is that same car parked out in there?
We were seeing now
they're
kind of behind.
So right where this rock is, that driveway. Let's see if we can find that. Well, maybe that's, what year is this street view here? That's 3 years ago. Okay, those big square flower. Those are right there, though. Yeah, kind of as if I think those are that and that are right here. It seems like maybe there's another set of them down here or something like that. Yeah, see, they're right there again. I think it's this driveway right here. That's what I think. Because look, if you back up here and you zoom in, it sort of feels like, yeah, see this tree right there? I think that's this one. And then these rocks that are right here are right in there. They're just foliage on them. And then those two square things are right there. So I think that's the house.
I'll be back if you want me to.
Yeah, I already found it, yeah. Yeah, it's this one right here. Yeah, so you got that tree, and then these rocks here are kind of what is this. Then that tree, and then these two square things are right over here, see? So you got these two square things, the rocks on the ground, then this tree. In fact, I think it even has the same, let's see if we can zoom in on it like that. Well, there it is. I mean, that tree right there is the same one. See how it even has a little crook in the same spot? See, bing, bing, bing. Right in the driveway in the correct spot. And then also the sign right here. See the sign with the square on it? Well, that's exactly what you have right there, okay? So that's how you get on this channel, everybody. Figuring stuff out. Thank you, Snarky Cinderella. Also to the famous Cali Gal 3. That's going to be the dancing taco, everybody. Don't get offended. Uh-oh.
With gray.
Hey, Danielle, I'll just do how I want to do it. You know what I mean? I don't need you to have your little side comments or anything like that. I don't need your advice on that kind of stuff. That's just how I am, and that's how I'm going to do it, okay? Thanks. All right, so you got the rocks right there. That looks like the right place. That's the spot. Now let's continue on with this, and here we go.
Behind vehicles, it looks like, but there were FBI agents and Davis police. There you can see some of them walking right now. They've been going in and out of that home where all the attention appears to be focused. It looked like they also had a camera out earlier taking photos. We did reach out to Davis police multiple times about this, asking if they are executing a search warrant, asking them for confirmation if this is related to the 2 murders and 1 attempted murder that have happened over the last week. And Davis police has not responded to any of our calls or questions, so they have not confirmed that at this point. But what we do know is the only update we heard from them this morning is that they said the person of interest who was detained yesterday is still detained today. And we know that happened just about a half a mile away from where we are here. So very close. And that was on Colby Drive and Pine Lane, which was just a block away from Sycamore Park, which, as we know, was the scene of the second stabbing, which left a UC Davis student dead. So we know that police say they will release more details coming up at 2 p.m. But as of now, we are just looking at this large police scene. It appears that they're searching this home, and Davis police have not responded to our requests for comment or confirmation about this scene out here. Reporting live here in Davis, Liz Amitri, KCRA 3 News.
Got breaking news.
Crazy. Okay, well, we also have the, let's see, what's this one? Well, this one is from today. So, residents in Davis reported seeing the man 21 pacing in a park not far from where one of the fatal stabbings occurred. A 21-year-old man who was a University of California Davis student until last week had been arrested in connection with a harrowing series of 3 stabbings in the college town. The man, Carlos Dominguez of Davis, was booked on suspicion of murder after residents on Wednesday called the police with more than a dozen reports that they had seen a slight young man who fit witnesses' description of the suspect wandering near the park where one of the attacks happened, the police said. Mr. Dominguez was carrying a hunting-style knife when he was taken into custody on Wednesday, the police said. So he even had a knife on him. See, I wonder if yesterday, remember I was saying he was going to kill again on 2 days again later? He had the knife on him when he was arrested. And that was on Wednesday, yesterday. That would have been just absolutely crazy if he had killed again yesterday, where that's when the prediction was. The announcement, which occurred just hours after a memorial service for one of the stabbing victims, was met with relief in the city of 70,000 people. On the street where the police said Mr. Dominguez shared a house with several roommates, neighbors said they were still processing the news. I'm still coming to grips. It can happen anywhere. It can happen right next door to you, right? The first was David Henry Breaux, 50, a Stanford University graduate who slept outdoors and was known to locals for a years-long project in which he gathered. So he was, maybe he wasn't really homeless. That's what he wanted to do. And he was a graduate student, so this might have been something he was doing intentionally. Locals' year-long project in which he gathered and curated definitions of compassion. He was found dead at about 11:20 a.m., so it wasn't 11:20 at night. That was just middle of the day. How crazy is that? Now, he could have been killed, though, the night before, and they found him in the morning, I guess. Thank you, Dobby Smith. And actually, just to follow up on what you said up there, Danielle, I'm not focused. The avocado one, I just think is funny. So I'm going to keep joking around about it. You know, every time the avocado plays or the taco stomps or, you know, it's like, come on, you guys. Yeah, just have a little bit of...
all day yesterday when I was waiting for Grand to be born. Thanks so much for all you do.
Oh, yes. Cool.
Don't change a thing. Cool face.
Yeah, there's some people... I mean, there's obviously things I'm going to, try to work on a little bit, As authorities expedite DNA analysis of evidence found at the 2 crime scenes. So the bike, remember how he took the bike from one of them? Well, he left the bike there and his DNA was on that one. A woman in a homeless encampment east of the city downtown reported a 3rd attack late Monday, saying she had been stabbed repeatedly through the wall of her tent. The woman, Kimberly Gilroy, survived, the police said, adding that she remained hospitalized and was alert and improving. The victim and nearby witness described the assailant as a curly-haired young man in dark clothing who had been lurking near the encampment. Yeah, I'm not going to read through that whole thing. Let's do the press conference, though. Here we go.
And thank you for being here this afternoon. So we are here to deliver the news to the entire community that everybody's been waiting to hear. We've made an arrest. But before we get into the details, I first want to express...
So by the way, I don't know what was going on in this interview, but his voice and lip sync started off pretty good, and then I fixed it in another spot, but it gets so off. I don't really have the time to sit there and so for the last 10 minutes, his lips don't match up with the audio. I don't know what the deal is there.
My deepest, sincerest condolences to the families of David and Kareem. The lives of David and Kareem were brutally taken this last week. And I also wish a speedy recovery to Kim, who was severely wounded in the knife attack just a few days ago. She's recovering in the hospital, and we're hoping for a speedy recovery and that she'll soon be released. These crimes were horrific. They're hard to imagine. They struck fear in the community, and we know that. We've also experienced loss. David and Kareem were taken way too soon. We will never truly understand the sadness or sense of loss for their families, and we will miss them. We hope that the announcement today provides some level of relief. I want to thank the entire regional law enforcement system and national. We have allied agencies here, and on our website, you'll see a list of all the agencies that helped us out in the last week, and there are many. Everybody wanted to chip in and provide a level of support to the city of Davis. I also want to thank our community. They've shown steadfast support for us and demonstrated support through their amazing acts of kindness over the last few days. And afterwards, I can get into some of the things that the community has done for us. I want to thank the members.
I'm sorry that there's a horse clomping around on the ground inside there. I can't do anything about it for you. So for those of you out there that are aurally impaired and don't like, oh my God, there goes the beeping, everybody, again. Just a devastating show for those of you. But I'm just going to go ahead and play this, and you're going to hear that sound in the background. I wasn't able to take out all those clompings.
The Davis Police Department.
I
couldn't be more proud of all of the work that they've done in this past week. It's been a busy week, and most of them have received very little sleep.
That's
They've
not
been working
me.
nonstop.
There's my hands. Look.
During this entire investigation. You wouldn't know it by the quality of the work being done. They left no stone unturned. Now, for a short recap of why we're here. The first homicide occurred on April 27th, 2023 at 11:20 a.m., and that's when it was reported. We responded to a welfare check over in Central Park, and the responding units found a person deceased, David Rowe. He had been stabbed many times, and it was apparent that it was a particularly brazen and brutal attack. We launched an investigation, collected a lot of physical evidence, and immediately started looking for...
You know what I'm going to do, everybody? I'm going to make a sound effect. Guess what it's going to be, everybody? It's going to be the 3 beeps at the door, except it's going to be one hell of a lot louder. Okay.
Who may be responsible. The problem with this one is there was no eyewitnesses, and so we had to wait for evidence to come back.
That does sound like a horse, doesn't it? A little bit like a horse.
And then just 2 nights later, we had another attack. And this one, Kareem was in the park, Sycamore Park, located in central West Davis, and he was violently attacked and stabbed many times. A witness had seen the last part of the attack, had a short interaction with the suspect, who took off, going westbound out of the park. We immediately started a search, but we weren't able to locate the suspect that night. 2 nights later, we had another attack. Kimberly was in a tent located at 2nd and L Street, and she had just gone to bed. She was alone, and we had a person slash the side of the tent, reach in and stab her several times. She called 911 and said that she'd been stabbed. The responding officers arrived shortly thereafter. They conducted a search, but again, were unable to locate the suspect. She was transported to the UCD Med Center. She underwent surgery for the stab wounds, and she is recovering, which is good news.
What does that mean, Danielle? I don't know what that means.
The initial crimes were both investigated as homicides. Of course, we launched an attempt homicide investigation for the 3rd stabbing. And everybody's asked, are the 3 crimes related?
Who are you talking about,
well,
Danielle?
We investigated. It was certainly more probable than not that they were.
I heard every bit of it. What are you talking about? He's not listening to the feedback. Who are you talking about? Me or somebody else?
We didn't know whether we had several attackers out there or one, so we had to keep all options on the table. So this brings us to the arrest, and this is how it went down. Yesterday afternoon, we had about 15 callers over near central West Davis, near Sycamore Park. And
yeah, I heard everything. Listen, Danielle, you don't need to talk to me like I'm some little kid or something, okay? I know exactly what I'm doing. I heard exactly what they say. I think it's ludicrous to complain and whine about 3 beepings in the background every once in a while. I have an alarm system, okay? It's just the way it is.
They reported seeing a person who matched the description.
I heard everything. I get it. Okay? I'm not, I'm just who I am. Some of the stuff I could probably work on, but I don't need you to give me advice or any of the stuff, the comments that you seem to constantly make in there. Nobody else does it.
That we had provided after the 3rd attack. All of them reported kind of the same thing. A person was at the park, was wearing the same clothing that we had put out in the description, and that he was wandering around. We were a little behind on some of the calls, like had seen him a couple minutes ago or 10 minutes ago, but eventually one of the callers said, I'm following him right now, and was able to lead us to the person. He was stopped by several patrol officers, and they had a short conversation. It appeared that he had some physical evidence on him.
Yeah, it's a nightmare, Cora. We've talked about it many times in here. It's like, my brother died, so I was watching. I don't think it's as hard for siblings as it is for a parent, because a parent is supposed to die before their children. It's sort of in their DNA. A sibling, it's a nightmare, but you're young enough where you can sort of get over it, and you don't remember as much stuff, where the parents remember every single thing when they were raising you as a kid all the way up until the time that you died.
It might be part of the investigation, and he was wearing really the same clothing that was described by the witnesses after the third attack. This looked like a match. So they spoke to him briefly, and at this point it was becoming a little bit of a neighborhood spectacle. So they asked if he would be willing to come downtown here so that they could speak with them, and he agreed. The detectives met with him, and they spent many hours
scraped up my nose
interviewing him. And based on
it was 2 murders, Juju positive. We've gone over this for a couple days now. I don't know if you were here yesterday, but he killed 2 people, and then a third woman in a tent he stabbed, and she was in critical condition, but I think she's kind of made it out of the woods.
Interview, physical evidence that we were able to collect from him, and the clothing, and other physical evidence at that point that was starting to come in, we decided to first arrest him for possessing a large knife that was on his person when he was picked up. He was wearing a backpack, and in the backpack was a large knife that was consistent with one that we were looking for based on evidence from the first homicide. So having this information, the detectives worked pretty diligently throughout the night, and just about an hour ago placed him under arrest on 2 counts of homicide for David Bro and Kareem Najim, and for 1 count of attempt murder for Kimberly. He is now at the Yolo County Jail, and the district attorney will be reviewing our reports in the coming days to determine any final charging decision.
Well, I did want to say thanks for everybody who took the survey. I don't know who anybody is who put any of the comments in, because it's not really in order or anything like that. So but I appreciate everybody taking the time to write something in there. I mean, some of the stuff I'll take to heart because I understand it. There's many people saying it. But then there's some stuff, these one-off kind of things I think are just funny and goofy that, there's so many people that have these little sort of idiosyncrasies that they get upset about. And I can't really change all of those things just to make one person happy. But, some of the other things, I, try to do things differently, maybe be a little less, even if I think a question's dumb, I could treat it as if it's not. What do you think of that? You like that one?
I can't thank the city of Davis.
I did remove comments when they referred to specific people, though.
And our community for their support. It's pretty remarkable. 15 people took a description that we had put out, and actually all of you in the media had helped us put it out, and they saw a person who matched the description, and they called. And that led directly to the arrest in this case. This was a partnership between all the law enforcement professionals, some that you see up here, and our community members who stepped up. That's pretty remarkable and pretty amazing. These horrific crimes have resulted in immeasurable loss to the victims' families and friends and to our community. But as we move forward together, it also demonstrates Davis has compassion, a deep sense of community when faced with tragedy. We are a resilient community. Having been here my entire life, I can tell you we've been through tragedies before, and we'll get through this one. I have no doubt that normal life will resume today. There's still much work to be done, and we'll get it done. We're committed to a successful prosecution now. And now, Mayor Arnold is going to speak, and after he speaks, I'll come back up and answer any questions. As well. Yes, I can. We're still gathering.
I don't like listening to I don't like listening to mayors and public. It's just sort of, to me, they're just going to talk about the town. I don't really give a damn. I want to know more about the case and questions.
It occurs to me, you probably all want to know the name of the person arrested.
Yeah, it took him a while though, didn't it?
That would be 21-year-old Carlos Dominguez of Davis.
Anything else that you can share with us?
I'm sorry?
Anything else that you can share with us about the suspect?
He was a student at UCD up until last week. He's been here for a couple of years, and we're still gathering other background information on him at this point.
Probably was exacting.
Motive?
Hold on.
Any idea of a motive at this point?
That's still under investigation.
Did he confess?
We can't release that information. That'll have to come out in court later.
Could you spell that last name?
Yes, I can. Dominguez.
Is he harmless?
Hold on. Go ahead.
Can you confirm whether or not the activity on Hawthorne
is he homeless? No, they already said that he...
Yes, we're currently serving a search warrant at his residence on Hawthorne and Davis. That search is underway, and we're gathering evidence at this point.
Was there any evidence that when he was detained yesterday, he was out looking to kill?
We don't have any evidence of that. What I can say is that he was in the park where the second homicide occurred. He had a backpack on. He was wearing the same clothing from the third attack, and he had a large knife in his possession.
And can you clarify if these three stabbings are connected?
At this point, we believe that all three are connected, and we have evidence and information that they are, and that we have one person responsible.
Was he compliant during the whole
Hold on one sec.
process?
One at a time, please.
Was he compliant during the whole process?
See,
or
look at
did
that.
he put up a fight, or did
He was compliant.
See, that's why it's so cool to do the maps. Because remember I said he was right here and he took a left and he's going this way. Now he could go back on campus, but look how close he actually was, just right there. Then the second one, so the 29th is this park right here. That's the Sycamore place where he stabbed people. So he was in this area, but he lives right there. And then he also, so I was saying he could live in this area because of the attacks over here, but he's just just north of that spot. So he lived right there, and then there's one here on the 27th. That's the first spot, second spot, then third spot. And then apparently after this one, he was seen heading down that road, which puts you back into campus over here, but it's also where you could take a right and go up here and get back home somehow.
During the entire process.
Okay. Can you describe an indication that he was looking to be found? I mean, he was exactly the way he was described, wearing things you would.
Sometimes you got to listen to me, Zozo. You know? Sometimes you got to listen to me. You know how many times she says that to me?
Expect him to be wearing in the location you would expect him to be in daylight.
See, I was the one that said it was a student, didn't I?
Did he want you to find him?
It does not appear so, but...
And yes, that's the same answer I give her. No. Yeah.
As you described, the behavior was quite unusual in a circumstance like this. He was aware that he was being looked for.
And one more, you said up until last week, was he expelled from the school? Did he leave the school? Why was he still up until last week?
So we're still investigating that, but at some point the campus will provide more information.
Can you describe the knife, the large knife? Was this a hunting knife? Was this a kitchen knife? And does he have a criminal record?
This would be described more as a hunting style knife, and I don't yet know whether he has a criminal record.
Did he know the victims? Was this random? Were they random?
We have no information that he knew any of the victims, although that is still under investigation. We still have a lot of evidence to go through. from the three victims and information.
Yeah, there are emails and everything in there, Jeff. It's all in there. But yeah, I mean, she might have. I don't know if they're still in there now, but you could see them before. But you know, it's like, who cares? It was just in there. That's what Google would do to make you to fill it out. But I don't have it.
From him, so we haven't even looked at that yet.
Does he live with anybody in that house? Who else lives there?
He does have some roommates that live there.
What DNA evidence has come back, if any, and can you talk about how that might have played a role in identifying him?
We collected a lot of biological and physical evidence from the 3 scenes. We're still waiting for, we've received returns on some of the evidence, and now we're going through the process of doing comparisons. So that is ongoing.
Where is Carlos from before UC Davis?
I've heard Oakland, but I have not confirmed that.
Was he under the influence?
I'm sorry.
Was he under the influence of anything?
It does not appear to be.
And just to clarify, has he denied his involvement in any of the crimes?
I can't discuss the contents of the interview.
How did you link the 3 stabbings?
Basically, through our investigative process, examination of physical evidence, and the information we knew about the 3 crimes.
Did you said before that he understood that he was being looked for? Is that correct?
It appears he did.
Chief, can you clarify, up until this point you said you mentioned that there was more than a dozen members of the community who spotted him, who pointed him out. It seems to be very obvious based on the description of what he was wearing. Up until that point, did you have any indication of who you were looking for? If he had not been in the park at that time and been seen by 15 people, do you think you would have been any closer to finding him?
We were getting pretty close based on other physical evidence, but the tips certainly expedited his finding him and an arrest. There's no doubt about that.
Based on what you know about him now, would you classify him as a serial killer?
At this point, based on the information that we have and the definition of a serial killer, that would apply.
Have you talked to any of his roommates? Have they described them in some sort?
We have spoken to the roommates and they have provided us information.
I mean, he's a serial killer technically. I'd like to know a little bit more about him and stuff like that, but I don't know. You know, I think they need to like adjust the serial killer definition, not 2 or more with unrelated people. Because to me, it sort of seems like there's got to be this psychological element too, where the killings they're not for something typical like money or revenge or something like that. It seems like it needs to be, yeah, we just said his name a minute ago, Dominguez. I think it needs to be, well, it's not a spree killing because it was 2 days apart and then he attacked the 3rd person. 4 days apart. Yeah, it's not really a mass killer either because it's different days. I'm just saying it feels like sometimes there's got to be like a psychological, because if you had somebody that went to 4 different gas stations and 3 nights apart and killed the gas station attendant to steal the money, those guys don't seem like serial killers to me, even though they are. Serial killers to me are for some sort of other pleasure that's not standard. That's what it feels like. It should be, right? Like they killed for pleasure. They, like you get the almost every serial killer is kind of like that. The ones that you hear about, Ted Bundy, even the guy that dressed up, the guy from Canada, that military guy. I always forget his name, but those guys right there. They're killing because they want to kill, not for necessity a lot of times. Yeah, I think he just got expelled, or not expelled, but kicked out of the school just 2 days before he was killing these people. So I think it's something like that. So why he's killing, I don't know. Maybe they observed him being strange, and that's why they removed him from school. A little bit like Koberger was removed from being the graduate teacher. Remember that? Well, he did attack one person, was a school person. Yeah. And the other one was a graduate. So two of the people he attacked, one was a student, the other one was actually a graduate student from the same school. The woman in the tent, who knows what that was about. Well, thanks, Shelley Wagner. Plus, I think playing all of your guys' comments gave you a feeling of being able to pay me back. Some of you, right? Yeah.
I appreciate Gray's willingness to take our suggestions. In actuality, it's his show and he doesn't have to change anything. Keep up the good work.
Well, thanks, Shelley Wagner. We'll see, there's stuff, obviously there's things that there's a themes were in there.
Are they college students?
I actually don't know for sure. We can probably get that information later.
When will a mugshot be released?
I don't believe that a mugshot will be released.
Will there be a change in police presence?
Why won't a mugshot be released?
Following this event for the time being, or is it going to decrease again after the arrest?
We still have, the stepped up patrols for right now, but that'll diminish.
Well, no, a lot of people typed in nice comments, but the ones that don't like me very much or I irritate a lot probably took it as a great time to put in all the things they don't like. But those are really things that they think. It's not like they invented them. Just to
clarify on the third stabbing, you said I think that he reached into the tent. Did he reach into the tent, or I think we also had heard that it happened through the tent? Can you clarify, please?
Yeah. So the initial information that we had was that he had slashed the tent, reached in and stabbed, and then another person.
I love the ones that say, "God, I think you're absolutely crap, shit show." But man, if I get a job again, I'll help support your channel again. Really? How come? Yeah.
And said that the stabbing was through the tent, but a victim who provided the original statement, that appears to be more accurate.
Did he have any other weapons on him?
No.
Is there any concern of copycat attacks?
Well, I certainly hope not. Yes.
Were you able
never
to
really
confirm
asked for that.
his ID with the victim in the hospital?
We haven't done that yet. Yes.
Was there any sign of mental illness or any indication that the guy was unstable? Or?
We're still evaluating that.
Like one said, "Hey, you're on the spectrum," and they just went on. I mean, that was the crazy one. Like, it went on and said that I'm on the spectrum, said all these different things, and at the end said, "Yeah, but if I get back on my feet," well, really? Why would you support my channel when you just trashed it into oblivion? There was like literally nothing you liked about it.
But there's no obvious.
So do you classify these as serial killings?
I'm sorry.
Do you classify these stabbings, the two that were fatal, as serial killings?
Well, if you use the very strict definition, then yes.
So what's going to happen now? You were saying that there's still going to be some patrolling tonight. When is that going to diminish, and what have you learned from this experience that you will apply for next occasions? I know this is very rare in Davis, but it happens. So
yeah, so our staffing levels in Davis, they get us through most of the time. It really takes an event like this to have a serious shortage where you're calling in such significant resources. So for the most part, we're able to manage our staffing levels and provide regular patrols.
So for the people out and about in the community, the people who cut back their business hours, the people who change their lives even temporarily, are they free to go about business as usual now?
Yes, I believe that we have the right person in custody, and I think that Davis can resume life as normal now. For all of you who haven't been to Davis and haven't been here for a long time, this is a beautiful, engaged community. People are out and about all the time. And we have sporting events, we have university events, we have community events, family events, farmers market, school district kind of stuff going on.
Yeah, I actually have him too. Right here. Hold on a second. Here he is. Let me put this over here. Hold on a second. I was just talking to... I was telling Zozo, come on, man, you got to give me credit for once in your life. Okay, this got to be him, right? Carlos Reales Dominguez, UC Berkeley, studied at Stanford, UC Berkeley, it says there. It's got to be him. He's got these crazy, you know, like, what's this one all about? I don't know, it seems like this has to be him. I don't know if it'll... I don't know. I mean, what are the odds? There can't be two Carlos Reales Dominguez that go to UC Davis. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe these are... Well, come on. This has to be him here. You don't think this person right here with studied at UC Berkeley? Or that's UC Berkeley, not Davis. Ah, shit. I guess it's a UC again. Let's see if we got another one here. Where's the other one? UC Carlos Reyes. Which one does he look like? I got a whole bunch of results on the screen here. Well, it didn't really look like a young kid in the main picture, but... Yeah, well, send me the link to it. I don't want to keep digging around. Well, maybe that's it. Let's see. New Davis police. So is it this guy right here then? Oh, that's the same thing that Zozo just sent over here. But yeah, I got this one right here. Yeah, I got this thing right here. Yeah, it's the same link that I just had. Yeah. I think it's the same. It's similar, but that's him. Right there. You keep sending me stuff. I gotta put it on the screen and then your name pops up on it. I'm not gonna delete the show again. Alright, let's see. How could there be multiple Carlos Reales Dominguezes? It's just crazy. Oh, thank you, Bama Forever on PayPal. Yeah, very cool. Cindy's saying her chat isn't working. No, I can see you right there, Cindy. We can all see you. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Let's see. Yeah, you didn't send me the link. You said you found his Facebook page. Where is it? Right, send the Facebook page, though. You said you found his Facebook page. So, did you send me the email there? Danielle Burl? Yeah, sometimes you have to reboot your phone. Zozo had a problem with that with Discord the other day. She had to, like, reboot. It wasn't working. Like, sometimes just rebooting things make things work. Especially when you know that you didn't do anything different. Let's see. Yeah, so I guess that's the shot there that everybody's talking about. I just don't know where we can... they said they weren't going to release an image. Maybe this is another arrest or something that he had. Look at, he's got the bushy eyebrows, you guys. This guy probably looks better than Elliot Rodger, don't you think? Not really, Gray. Not really. Yeah, I don't see him. I mean, there's a whole bunch of profiles. I'm not sure why I didn't realize it. So, see, that's COVID brain right there. Again, you know, didn't even say UC Davis in my mind. Just no, don't see it. Maybe that's the one. Oh, that guy lives in Peru. Yeah, Elliot Rodgers was nuts. How do you know what the Zodiac Killer looks like, Danielle? I think if people knew what he looked like, they would have, you know, he'd be, you know, arrested. I'm just scrolling down to see if he pops up. Oh, maybe what they meant was they found him on Facebook, the picture, not here's his profile. Okay. Yeah, so the suspect identified as 21-year-old Carlos Dominguez was apprehended in a park where the second killing occurred and subsequently charged with 2 counts of homicide and 1 count of attempted murder on Friday, as confirmed by Davis Police Chief Darren Vitale. So, do you think this is this booking picture? Because they said at that press conference they weren't going to release it. But when they said curly hair, I think that threw people off. He has wavy hair. You know, even in the one when he's sitting on the street, you can see him when the car's driving by. I don't know if you missed it. You can go back and watch it. You see him there.
And we're going to start.
See, watch right here. Watch.
Of the murders during questioning.
He's right there.
Now, PD got a warrant last night, which is believed to be the murder weapon, and we're told that.
See, that's him on the street right there, with the Adidas pants on and so forth.
He later confessed to at least one of the murders during questioning. Now, PD got a warrant last night to test this suspect's DNA, which was sent to the lab early this morning. It is believed that the killer rode off with the victim's bike following that second stabbing. So they are likely attempting to match the suspect.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is a crazy story because it first happened. The first attack was right here of David Bro on the 27th at this park right here. The name's escaping me right now, the park, but it was right here. And then the second attack happened right here at Sycamore Park. Yeah, the other one was Central Park. Now I remember the name. This is Sycamore Park right here, and that was Kareem Abdul Najim, and I guess it was. I'm not sure if this is the one that was 11:49. There was one that was 11:15 a.m. So that might have been the other one. This one I think was at night, the 20-year-old. But then the killer took the bike, and somebody chased him for a while, but he went this way, and on the other side of the highway, he dropped the bike off. And then, I don't know what he did after that, if he walked back over that footbridge at some point. Don't really know. But he lives right down here. So, and apparently this is where, let's see if there's a fire hydrant right here. I have a feeling it's going to be right there. Let's see. Just by the look of it. I don't see it. But I was wondering if this is where he, there, maybe that was it, right there. Isn't that where he was pulled over? Let's see if that's it.
And we're going to start with
Suspect, we're told.
Pretty sure that's the right one. Yeah. Let's see. So even the cracks on the ground there. Look at the cracks on the ground. It looks like the big one is right. See this one right there? It's not exactly. It could be this one right here. Let's go over here. Yeah. So I think he was just sitting right here on the curb. Let's see if we can get another.
Had a knife.
Okay, and then there's a house with 3 windows on it right there. Let's see. We go around the corner. Yeah, there it is. So that's the window right there. Grass with the sidewalk. Yep. So he was sitting. Let's get that dialed in.
The photos, the video by now, which is believed to be the murder weapon. And
so he was arrested, right? Here, basically. So he's arrested there. He lives right here, apparently, in this house. We figured this out all earlier on the show based on the geographical information. And I think he lives in this one. So he's in a spot where, I was thinking he lived right down here, but that isn't far off. It's just right up here, south of this area and west of these other stabbing locations. So good news, he was caught. So there you go. Well, you guys, I think that's it for the show tonight. What do you guys want to talk about for the next 15 minutes? Yeah, but anyways, I heard what you guys all said. A lot of you don't have any problems at all, but some people do. So when people say a chance to be honest, there are people that are honest and love the way everything is. Because they don't mind how I am and what I do and how I say things. Okay, so the thing is well, I don't know what you said, Cindy, and I don't really care. Okay, people just send stuff in. Whatever people say is what they say. Okay, you don't need to tell me I was just honest. Just the poll is what it is. I heard what people said in there. That's cool and everything. Yeah. Right. I think everybody was honest who typed something in there because it was anonymous. Right? Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole point of it. And the way people type, it almost seemed like it was they thought it was an entity outside, because people would say, yeah, I like his show, but it's like, well, I get it, but I'm the one that's reading, there isn't some other agency that was doing it. Yeah, well, I'm sure you would have matched what somebody else said in there, Cora. Yeah, I don't know which one it would have been. But, the main theme is people don't like the, trying to get the super chats and everything, and that's kind of the main thing. Or getting frustrated about it, that sort of thing. And what I was trying to explain to people, and it's a really good analogy, because we're us on YouTube. There's no difference from people like us on YouTube than somebody putting on a show somewhere in the real world. So if there was a comedian giving a show somewhere, and the facility that he put the show on doesn't pay him a nickel, okay, he doesn't get a nickel for being there, but the place is packed. And for 2 hours, he's giving you a show and you're laughing and you're having fun and it's interesting and everything. And then at the end, everybody just walks out, or a lot of people just walk out and they don't give a tip to the person doing the show. The guy would probably start getting pretty, like, discouraged. Like, they didn't feel like he was, worthy of something. So there's nights like that, right, where you're doing these shows that took you hours and hours to put together again, and you're doing those shows, and then you're not sure what you're doing differently on that night than another night. So I guess those could be the bad nights, right? I mean, those could be the bad ones. But I think that's how you got to picture it in your mind. So I always see these other YouTubers that do these, 5-6 hour shows, and everybody's just, they're not giving them a nickel on there. And I'm just wondering how there are people, so many people watching something like that, and they're not giving them anything. I think it's sort of, it's discouraging. So I feel fortunate that the freaks are always supporting the channel and everything like that, but I'm trying to give you an analogy from my point of view and why sometimes it gets really, it's discouraging. And I think I do a lot with it too. I'm not like the other ones who are just trying to, gimme. I mean, we've given $147,000 since January 2020. That's insane, really. I mean, think about that for a second. It's not 10,000. I mean, if we said we gave 50,000 since 2020, we'd be like, God, that's awesome. But it's 3 times that, and so I think it's amazing. Yeah, I mean, a waiter's similar, but a waiter's different because they get paid just for being there. KK. See, that's why it's not a good comparison. But yeah, I've used that one before too. It's like Starbucks. So maybe, Starbucks, you could say, you go to Starbucks and you always give something to the guy that made you the coffee, but not the guy that did 3 hours of show and entertainment for you. Right. So that's why they have that thing called, like, there's a coffee tip thing that they have. It's not really coffee, but yeah, those are freaks over there. I try to switch that thing up from time to time. Those are freaks. I like the ones with the notebooks. Yeah, I mean, it's okay of a comparison, though, KK, but it would be sort of like if I had a minimum wage just for being here, and then it wouldn't be quite as bad. There's 0, though. I mean, literally, you could do a 4-hour show, and if nobody supported your channel, it would be 0. Because there is no ad revenue on the live stream true crime channels. I think I should be one of the ones that is, but, I don't make the rules. Yeah, it was just, basically it's the same information. There wasn't a lot of new stuff. It was just, I showed the video again, and more pictures of her, and that's about it. There's not much to go over. And when they make an arrest, it'll be cool, though. Definitely be interested in that. Yeah, you can do sponsorships. I don't know. Not really sure how that works. I see them on some channels out there. Thank you, Cindy J. Yeah, and I appreciate everybody being honest when they filled out the survey. I mean, if they're not honest, then you don't get anything out of it. But I didn't hide. The only one, I only took out like one comment because it referred to an actual person in the chat, so I was just like, okay, well, I'm not going to put that one. But all the rest of them are exactly what was in there. 100%. You know, I don't have anything to hide, you know. Most of those things are things that we've heard before. No, nobody knows who... I don't know anybody who... I mean, some of the comments, I kind of know who they were based on things that they've told me before. Like, I knew what Zozo's one was. You know. Hey, Jeff, can you let the cab story drop, man? I mean, I'm just telling you, it's getting kind of old at this point. It's just, you know, maybe it was funny the first time, but it's just, Jesus. Whew, wow. See, there you go, Gray. Yeah. Yeah, you meant you didn't care? One of these days... Well, Lillian will come on, and by God, we'll be talking about, there'll be breaking news in the Delphi case, but we're going to put it all on hold, right, Jeff? So Lillian can tell her cab story. It's the thing we've all been waiting for. It sounds like it's the greatest story in the history of mankind. This cab story. Hey, I got a good cab story. When I went to New York to do the trial the one with the elevator case that I was in, or that I made the video for, we were driving down the highway, and we missed the cab driver missed our, what do you call it, off-ramp, right? When you're on the highway, you get up, and he goes, oh shit. So he skidded to a stop on a freeway, and he backed up. Like 100 yards, and his cars are going zoom, zoom, like, what are you doing? And just so he could get that exit. Have you ever heard anybody do that before? I thought I wasn't going to make it. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, think how scary that is, because behind you got these cars going like, this is in New Jersey. I think I'm not sure if the airport was in New Jersey or how that worked, but you're going 60 miles an hour in one direction. So when he was backing up at 20 miles an hour, that's 90 miles, 80 miles an hour. It's insane. but it sort of worked for him. It seems like cab drivers over there, they just sort of get to do things. The cops look the other way. People just, yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. It's supposed to be wow, just wow, Jeff. But there you go. There's your cab story, Jeff, until someday. But we're only going to do it if it makes sense, Jeff. So if I'm talking about Delphi, I'm not going to break into, hey, tell me about your cab story. Okay, I'm going to stick to the Delphi case. So it'll have to be some random night when we do a true crime call-in or something. Somebody, she wants to call in and tell the story. Does that make sense? Awesome. Wow. Just wow. And I'm telling you, Lillian, you better spice that story up so it's the greatest story in the world because of the way Jeff has pushed that thing. It sounds like it's just got to be, alien abduction doesn't have anything on this cab story. No, you're not. There's no line to call in. So, yeah. I didn't hear the story. What number? There's no number on the screen there. Yeah. Yeah, one of these days. Yeah. Thanks, Daniel Burrell. Yeah, maybe if we have one of those nights where we're just shooting the crap for hours, that'd be a good one to do that. Oh, the talking, look at that. Look at the stamping taco, and you got Chloe over there that's just not even budging. No, Cindy, yeah. Maybe some other time. All right, you guys, I think I'm going to call it a night, though. We have 2 hours and 56 minutes. But tomorrow morning, everybody, make sure to be over there for the closing arguments on the Letitia Stout. At least in the morning, they're going to be figuring out what they're doing. They're getting there at 8:30, so 7:30 my time. So I'm going to have to get up at 7:15. Okay, I got the wheel here. Second, gotta put that in there. Also, Bama forever. God, Jesus. Well, you don't get to see the win. It's gonna have a win, but it doesn't matter. So I was still trying to put her name in there. God, I did it again. Come on, I just want to put the name in there. No, I had them red. Juju positive. Weren't you here at the beginning of the show? They were all red on the screen. Okay, and here we go. Thank you to Kubi. Yeah, so it's like the first hour or so of the show. It's an audio program reading all of the answers that people gave on there. What do you see, Cindy? You're doing those comments again. See? Let's see. I guess Kubi was right at the beginning there. And then Scouting Dude, Tosh, Traveling Teresa, then Tosh with a cat eye, then Danielle, Scouting Dude again, then Annabelle Stell, Ben Hills, Gloria Batari, Brutally Honest, Danielle, Pebs W, Kathy Chapin, Marie Crossley, Danielle, Scouting Dude, and then Scouting Dude with a double cat eye. Like, see, the thing is that's how I look at it some nights where I go, God, I was so lucky because, like, without him tonight, it would have been okay, but just sort of. And then Danielle, and then Your Gypsy, Three Boys Mom, Eugenie, Jessica Schubach, Three Boys Mom. And by the way, on the Jody Arias trial today, we gave away 5 memberships there, and then we were trying to get this one person to get a membership. And after I did one, somebody else did one, and then I did one, and then I think it was Emily Flotilla did one, and boom, it landed right on that one person. It was good. So Snarky Cinderella, Callie Gal 3 with a cat eye, Dobby Smith, Shelley Wagner, Three Boys Mom, Cindy J, Daniel Burrell. So thank you. So make sure to be there tomorrow, everybody, for the... Should be an interesting day. We'll see how it goes. And here's the spin for a notebook. All right, here we go. Well, look, it's Bama forever, right? But she always wants me to spin again anyways. Plus, I think she just got one of those. So let's do it again. Here we go. And look at that. It's Scouting Dude. He gets the blue notebook. Awesome. All right. That makes sense, doesn't it? All right, you guys, that is it for the show tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks again for all your answers. I'll take some of them and, try to think about that more, stuff like that. Even though, some of it's hard to do, but, the one-off things I can't really do much about, and that's just sort of like your own little thing, the beeping sound, when my wife opens the door coming home and the security goes beep, beep, beep. I'm not going to find a way to muffle it just for you, okay? I can just tell you that right now. Okay, great. So everybody, thank you very much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now.
I won't change
and
much.
During this whole time,
I can probably be nicer to questions that people have.
That is a crime dissector, plug rejector. I'm a certified human.
I'm not gonna go anywhere, everybody. I'm gonna stay here. I'm not gonna go anywhere, Greg. I'm not gonna go anywhere. People don't like me. People don't like me, Greg.
It's okay, Mary Lou. Some people don't like me either.
And I'm always gonna be a pup protector, fool deflector, interceptor. And I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work.
Yeah, Mary. Well, you're not going to go anywhere, Mary Lou. There was just a couple of people that didn't like the way you sang "Happy Birthday," and they didn't like you in general.
What do you mean, Gray?
Well, they just didn't like. They don't like you as somebody that shows up on the show, nor do they like the way you sing.
But I try really hard, Gray.
Well, trying hard doesn't make you a good singer, but I've always liked the way you sang songs for the most part, other when you're singing after smoking cigarettes. You're not quite as good, especially the ones with Retsin.
Okay, Greg, I can stop doing those if people will like me more.
No, just keep doing the same thing that you've always done, Mary Lou. It's no big deal. Some people just like to complain about everything. That doesn't matter. You could sound like Marilyn Monroe herself, and they would have complained.
I don't know, Gray. I just don't think they like me.
Hey, Mary Lou, maybe that's what they don't like. The blubbering sound that you just made. Do you ever think that's what it is, Mary Lou?
What do you mean, Gray? That's how I feel. Gee!
Okay. All right. Well, anyways, you have yourself a great evening, everybody. And until next time, be safe out there.
Be safe out there, everybody. And good night. Gee.
Oh, boy. Here we go. She's not going anywhere. Hell, I might even give her a bigger role. She might even do the reading. Okay, she's not doing that. All right, see you later. Hey, you guys still there? I actually ended the show for a second, but hey, we should do. I actually found these other flyby places that are in the same general area. So let's try one of these. Let's see, where is this one? I got a whole bunch of them now. Yeah, let's do it. Where is that one? Where is that one? Furious Freaks. Get that playing. Get the... Yeah, look at this place, huh? Zion National Park, that one. Yee-hoo! And there's the nebulae. Igloo-gloo-glag-glag. Thank you very much for being here and hanging out through the... We did a flyby. I found like 6 or 7 other places out there. Look, those are pretty cool, right? So we'll have to check those out. But anyways, thank you for being here. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. And until next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. And bye-bye. This is going to be a hard stop. Okay? Sorry about that.